The last time on the wilds of Valandiir, the crown collectors had enjoyed a banquet at their keep, been put in touch with some of the local fair and neighborly people of Hystael, as well as a retinue of certainly ill-tempered Black Guard coming to collect on the Empire's behalf taxes of gold. That was, it created a tense confrontation, to say the least, but the crown collectors found a way to work it so that they did their duty, but didn't give this guy the satisfaction, as came in swinging with his noble pen and ledger, alleviating this stress pretty spectacularly as far as roleplay concerns. And the next day, meeting the mayor of Hystael, he went on a fishing trip, which seemed to kind of be ending rather pleasantly until one of you unfortunately hooked a rather dangerous specimen, at least a young version of one. And old Gunter, the legendary sea snake of Rybank Lake, emerged to defend its young, and you battled hard and well, and scared each other away as the large creature took its young, which was finally freed, and disappeared beneath the deep depths. That is where we pick up. Everybody is soaking wet. I think Axton and someone else are on top of an overturned boat. Yeah, and I think I don't remember who was with the mayor. Oh, it was I guess someone who's not there anymore. No, Koza and Barynor are with the mayor. He just woke up after falling unconscious. The sea is relatively calming quickly as Gunter has exited the area and not roiled the seas any longer. What would you all like to do from here? I'm going to say that Kravish is right next to Maven with Axton at the back of their boat. The sea is calming. Yeah.
Don't get to fight one of those things very often, that's for sure.
Barynor kind of holds the mayor up a little and leans over his boat and looks down. Are we sure this thing is gone?
Guys, what do we do now? Is the mayor okay? Hello?
Would you like to make a medicine check, Axton, to check on his health?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Bringing up my character sheet. Medicine. Oh, normal. 21.
All right. He's coughing up a little water. He's, his hair is his gray, long, kind of medium-length hair is sort of stringy and pasted across his face. He lost his glasses, unfortunately, but he seems to be, catching his breath and sitting up on his own accord and balancing himself. He doesn't look too terribly worse to wear. He's got a nasty bruise on his forehead and looks like it's welting up, but other than that, he looks all right. Koza, you can hear me, Noah, right?
Yep.
Okay. Are you in, or are you just on the phone?
I'm in.
Oh, okay. You want to make a medicine check as well? You are right next to him, or what do you guys want to do? Do you want to continue to fish, or are you guys going to head on in?
I feel like we should head on in.
All right. It's not long after paddling back. I will say this. Anyone who doesn't have notes on your fishing, I know everybody caught at least a fish except for Koza. And I can, you can just log them as typical eaten fish, and call them whatever you want. If you don't remember what I told you, I'd have to listen back. But Koza, you do find 3 rather large, kind of football-shaped tuna-looking fish. They've got sort of gold scales with this blue blue marlin kind of short little sail behind their head. There's 3 of them. They're about 1.5 feet long. They look pretty fatty. And they're at your feet. They just look like they washed in from the storm of the battle. So, what do you wish to do from here at the docks?
Yeah, what was our plan? We're bringing the mayor to where?
Well, I don't know that you had a plan as far as where to bring him. He lives nearby. You've been to his house, which is also his office.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of stumbles onto the docks, and you know, a couple of you guys are kind of helping him along. I mean, he's a halfling. He doesn't have a terribly tall center of gravity, so he doesn't seem to be falling over, but he kind of shakes his hands dry and kind of squishes in his little shoes and hops along the dock. He's like, well, that was quite an adventure. I want to thank you all for keeping me alive. I'm sorry I sort of went unconscious there, but old Gunter can pack quite a punch.
You did well holding your own.
You're reminded by memories of him swatting at the tentacles and the strikes with his little fishing rod.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Barynor is going to kind of look over at Maven and Kravish and say, well, I know that I want to get back to the keep as soon as possible and dry off and maybe get something warm in my belly. What do you two have planned, Maven?
The same. I am just very unhappy to be cold and wet, so.
Yeah, you kind of sit there stoically shivering and kind of looking under your eyebrows straight at Barynor, a little bit of a death glare. Kravish just kind of shakes himself dry and slaps the water off his scales, and he kind of conjures out of his sack what looks like a dry cape that he's got, and sort of wafts it around. It seems to be rather thick, and drapes it over your shoulders. Like, all right, there. How's that? Is that better? Little drier. All right. Well, you stand on the docks. It's about, I don't know, maybe midday, and the crisp air brushes across your wet clothes quite dagger-like. Is there anything anybody would like to do in town before retreating to the keep?
Nothing on my end.
Okay. I am going to preemptively have Kravish do a little shopping. Yeah, he's gonna make mention, Maven, that he's gonna drop by the local tailor and pick up a couple things and invite you with him. But if you want to get back to the keep and warm up, he totally understands.
I'll meet you back home.
All right. He gives you a little peck on the cheek and a little squeeze on the arm and sees you off, and he kind of disappears into town for a little while. Let's see here. Anybody else in town or straight to the keep?
Straight to the keep for me.
Straight to the keep. You guys are starting to quite loathe the manual travel to the keep. It's not a particularly convenient place to get to. The stairs are always monitored by these kind of wiggle-toed, skittering ropers that hang to the ceiling. It's pretty bad. I'm going to say that you are working with somebody currently in town on a permanent transportation circle, and something that is a little less costly on the spell book that can get you in town like instantly instead of you guys having to travel these stairs. It's not finished yet, but if you wanted to throw down a deposit on this, we can get that started I'm sure that you guys are probably sick of it, sick of the walk.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, I don't know if you're taking it from the party fund. Let me just look something up real quick. We can get started on downtime. There's going to be about a week of downtime that everybody can take advantage of, travel, stick around, do research, work on skills, work on proficiencies. We can take this as kind of maybe a buff session where you prepare yourself for this journey east that you all are planning on going down. So let me just look. Okay. Permanent transportation circle. So every day for 1 year. All right, so we need a little math. Kenny loves math. 50 times 365. All right. So not cheap. I'm not going to charge that much. That's a little crazy. Who's that?
Tis I. I'm having technical difficulties.
I thought there was a teleportation
boy.
circle here.
What's that?
I thought there was a teleportation circle.
Yeah, so do I.
In the keep, there is, but in town, there's not, which is why it's always kind of a pain in the ass to get into town. But it says every day for a year, every spell is 50 gold. That's 18,250. I'm not going to charge nearly that much. I'm going to charge only 3. And you can put down, a third of that if you want.
Yeah, we'll just cover the whole nut right now.
Okay. 3K. Pleasure doing business. It's not going to be ready until probably, it says for a year, but we can speed that up. Give you guys access to that quicker. We'll call it a couple weeks. 3K. All right. So we can start at the top with, actually, you know what? We're going to let's have everybody just roll a D20. Let's get everybody rolling. Let's see.
Well, just a D20? Is there anything
Just a D20. Oh boy.
20?
All right. Waiting on one from Koza.
Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm having some technical
It's the day of technical difficulties, where it's the one day that I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is having trouble.
I am actually having trouble with the roll 20 and my other character. For some reason, it's adding a plus 30 proficiency bonus.
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's a 2.
Not great.
So it looks like it's going to be Axton, Maven. I have to have Kavish roll, right? Just roll this. This is just a D20 anyway. Okay. Axton. You arrive at the keep. Your room is, it's a brisk walk for you through the keep, kind of stomping your way up to your dwelling. You can smell like a lunch service that's been prepared for minimal house staff and everybody else. They're never sure if you guys are going to be in or out when you're in town for lunch and things like that, but it's like grabbing like a piece of bread and some cheese. Up to your room. It's looking like the place is rather quiet for the next week. You have, you're on your own recognizance. What would you like to dig into for the next 5 days? If you want to do it up, we can just do the 5 days at once, or if you want to sort of spread some stuff out.
5 days worth of stuff. Let's see. I guess I'm going to try to research this dark steel that we got from I guess, wherever we were before. What was it called? I don't know if we were in the Abyss, or what was it called?
The fire plane, you mean?
The fire plane, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of a fringe Abyss adjacent to plane sort of deal. Yeah, you acquired some ore, right? Is it just ore, or did you get some ingots?
I got 200 pounds worth of ingots.
Okay. Dark steel. It is dark steel. It just has a little bit of a different enchantment than, common. I think you and I have gone over it.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, 200 pounds. Okay.
What I'm going to try to do is, I think I'm going to try to research how it could be utilized to be made into another set of armor.
Okay. So, you've got a proficiency in blacksmithing, correct?
I do.
Okay. You have acquired various literature over the past couple months with, updating Stonehelm Keep to suit your benefit in your room.
Mm-hmm.
So you've acquired some books, some journals, some blueprints, certain technique scrolls that sort of lay out a way to twist the wrist and absorb more of the shock of blacksmithing and kind of hone in some skills. So you're going to draw on your little library that you've acquired. So we can go with are you more proficient in history or survival?
I'm proficient in both, but I'm more proficient in survival.
Okay, so you're kind of working on instinct with the things you've read. So give me a survival check, and then you're going to also give me a blacksmithing check as well. That's a pretty good roll.
And for the blacksmithing, I'm also going to do guidance.
Okay, that's a 28. That's a good roll. Ooh, another good one, 26. Okay.
With guidance for the blacksmithing, 29.
All right. So, what would you say as you sit down with a piece of parchment and a bit of charcoal? You start sketching out a new suit. Would you say it's more of a hugging the body or more bulky? Does it have spikes or studs? Does it look aggressive or does it look more protective?
It's definitely going to be protective.
Yeah.
It would probably cling to my body pretty well. So I'm going to try to make leather straps instead of just one big blocky piece.
Right. Okay. So it's got a lot of plates that sort of interact and are hooked together and strapped together. Okay. Okie doke. Let's see here. So your first day is spent mostly in sketching what you're looking for. It's a process that seems to come naturally to you, although you definitely have been waiting to sort of experiment in this new setting. Your bedside forge, as it were, is it's well made, it's well maintained. You guys have put in the money to make things high of quality, so your anthracite, the coal that you use and the wood that you use to heat your forge is pretty good, decent quality, and you're able to get your mind around what it's going to take to sort of create what you want. And that first day definitely counts towards a success on your downtime. So you've got one success. If you want to keep track, I will too. The first day goes rather well for you. Let's see here. Maven.
Yes.
Yes, so 5 days at your leisure, at your disposal. Kravish is a little further down the list, so we'll get to him in a minute, but it's good to, you definitely feel like I'm sure jumping out of your wet clothes into dry ones does much aid. What do you do on your first night?
I don't really have any set plans based on days or whatever, but I really did just want to make sure that I spent a lot of time with Sundancer, and I think that's probably really it. I didn't really make any big plans. Okay.
Kravish is definitely going to retire to his and your chambers and slip into a thick, warm, furry, high-collared, sort of shoulder-padded robe of this black and gray and white twisted fur that sort of trails to the ground a couple feet behind his feet. And he just kind of is like, oh, that's more like it. Woo. Well, I'll tell you what, hon, I'm gonna head down to the bathhouse and stoke off some of this horrible day.
I completely understand.
But why don't you stick around here next couple days? I want to maybe take you someplace familiar that we really had a good time at, just for like the evening. So, be open to it.
I'm open.
And he just sort of he slinks down the hall. The the quietness of his robe sort of masks his little stomp down the hall as he goes off to the bathhouse. Your Drake, as you retreat to the outside, you kind of grab a fur or a burlap sort of wrap for yourself because the wind is kind of picked up. It seems like maybe getting a little less frigid out and starting to maybe thaw a bit. It's not as biting when you go outside. It's just kind of like a cold chill. You head out there, and your Drake is not at his stone nest. He kind of has his own exit. You've found that the top of his lair, there's sort of a small squeeze that opens up to a little tunnel that goes up into the air and exits out into the sky. I mean, he's in basically inside of a mountain. And he has come in and out of there, as you've seen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. His lair's a little messy.
Okay. So I'll make sure it's all nice and tidy and stuff, and just hang out.
Okay. You do find a number of like eagle and hawk and large rodent skeletons on the floor. Quite a few, actually. It looks like there's 10 or 20, and you do just find like smaller bones scattered about the floor in the corners and in the edges, and kind of it stinks a little. I'm not gonna lie. It's got kind of a musky, nasty smell, like a funky, kind of like a foot and manure and
yeah.
And yeah. So you're kind of sitting there, and every time you step, you hear like a crunch.
Okay, well, I'll just like clean up, try to keep it clean, as well as
clean. You want to get rid of the bones?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and just let's see here. Just give me an acrobatics check. Let's just have you whiz around the room. You kind of run inside, grab a broom and some stacks to haul away rubbish.
Solid 12.
Okay. Yeah, you're not a huge fan of like manual labor cleaning. You did a lot of it at the monastery, and it wasn't fun then either. But the more you haul, the more you sweep up and kind of haul away, the refuse in here, it starts to smell a little fresher. There is sort of a constant breeze that sort of flows through the natural ventilation of this place.
Mm.
And it's not long after you kind of finish and you kind of toss your bags into this. It's like kind of a continuous fire that's now. He's been here long enough. His influence over the place, his natural ties to this fire realm. There is now a constant sort of small little violent inferno in the corner, and you've seen him kind of jump into it and almost like bathing, just kind of running, rummaging around in it, and it sort of consumes anything. As you toss it into that fire, the bags you've got, they instantly vaporize. You hear the scraping from above you in that tunnel, scraping, skittering, sliding. You hear and you see him land, and he has in his mouth what looks like this huge bird with sort of like a white stripe under its chin and like reddish brown feathers that flay out. It has a very large, sharp yellow beak, and it's just sort of trying to paw at him and not making any purchase. And he just kind of looks at you. His eyes grow wide, and he instantly throws the eagle down and pins it down with one of his claws. And he just looks at you. He's like, "Bah!" And that's where we'll break it, goes and return to later. After Maven. Really 8s and 7s, huh? Barynor is going to basically, he's going to start working on he's got kind of like a little collection of daggers that he interchanges throughout the adventure. He's going to sharpen pretty much all of them that aren't magical, and he's been able to acquire sort of a little device that sharpens magical knives as well. And he's going to work on his daggers for the first night. Luna looks like she's trying to make herself comfortable in front of their hearth fire. And let's see here. Koza
is... There wouldn't be a magic shop in town, would there?
It's not. There's not a lot of magic in this area. It's not magic, but there is someone that does travel a lot, who has like a stall in the middle of the fish market, and he travels a lot. He's got a lot of exotic items. He does sell magic items, rings, necklaces, daggers. He's got kind of like a plethora of objects that he's collected over the years. Yeah, there's definitely somebody like that in town. It's just not like a magic store where you can get everything.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna make my way over to there.
Okay. All right. It takes you the better part of an hour and a half to get into town from the keep, but you make it no problem. If you just I would like to give you first. Why don't you give me a conversation check? Give me a general charisma check.
All right. Come on, computer. There we go. 17.
Okay. You round the corner as you go back into town, and just on the docks, or a little bit before the docks, you see what look like fishmongers pulling crates of fish from the lake. They're setting up stalls and getting ready rather early, as you decided to kind of get up a little early. The air is still very bitter this early in the morning. It's very cold. There's a very stiff breeze that blows over the lake almost constantly. And you kind of pull your warm clothes close to your neck, and it's not blizzarding or anything like that, but it's a little brisk in the morning. And you see what looks like a sort of a 4-post tented stall that kind of looks like it's got sort of a semi-permanent fixture here, at least for it looks like it'll stick around for a few weeks or maybe more. And there's no sign, but you've passed this guy enough to know that he just sells kind of everything. And you step in, and he looks like a tan-skinned human. He's got sort of light chocolate colored hair, very large, round nose. He's about 4'8", and he's got kind of wide shoulders. He's covered in like a red silk robe, and he looks like he's pouring himself some very, very hot tea on a desk right next to where his big, entrance is. And he's like, welcome. Step inside, please. Get yourself some hot cocoa or tea.
I will pour myself a cup of tea.
He's like, so what brings you into old Ian Beale's shop this early in the morning?
Well, I was actually wondering if you could do some repairs on my armor here, and I'm going to show him the burn marks on my armor.
Well, I don't have the skills per se to repair armor of that quality. Is that wood?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fascinating. Never come across someone wearing wood as armor before. Well, let me see. I'm almost positive that the livery will be able to repair wooden armor, certainly better than I can. I can't repair any. But, and he sort of swings his arm over from a shelf, and he brings over this very small, clear glass vial with sort of this swirling, glittering, blue-green solution in it. He goes, "This is Everward sap oil. And might do some good into rubbing into the armor, maybe giving it some zest. It's been known to have effervescent qualities and beneficial repairing qualities on natural hide and things like that. Might do well. What do you think?"
I'll have to give this a shot.
Okay. He's going to charge you $250 for this. It has 2 uses.
All right. Hang on. Let me do some math real quick. Okay.
And
I will hand him the 25 platinum.
25 platinum. Yeah, he takes. He kind of lights up. He's like, "Ooh, like to see platinum." All right. Will there be anything else? We've got pretty much every doodad and trinket here you could ask for. Is there something else you had in mind?
Do you have anything for mending?
Kind of like the oil I just sold you.
Well, something for after I'm out.
Well, I could sell you another one of these. As far as you're looking for something to repair clothing or armor in general.
Sure, why not? If you don't have anything to... No, there's no trouble.
Well, he's got a tailor kit. You're not proficient in it, so it would just be a straight roll. And I think you'd also have disadvantage. But it's 15 gold pieces. It's a tailoring kit. It's got needles and thimbles and lots of thread and leather stripping and all kinds of stuff.
All right. Well, I got pretty much what I was asking for, so thank you. Thank you for the tea.
All right. Okay. You kind of step out of the shop, and I don't think you're with anybody, right? It's pretty early in the morning. You kind of just schlepped on into town like this, right?
Yeah, I kind of wandered into town. Koza does that a lot. He likes to wander.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check. Do you have high wisdom?
Does a +3 count as high?
Yeah, it does. It would, I guess.
You said perception?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, dear.
Ah, come on.
Wow. A natural 1. So, that really sucks. Let's see. All right. It is still rather early. You were in there with Ian Beale for, probably about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, just kind of tinkering through a shop. I will say this, if you want to write this down, you did see some items of great interest to you and possibly the rest of the party. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Okay. You found what looks like a set of fishing javelins, and you know that Axton definitely uses them and talks about them quite a bit. They look very, very well made. You don't really know much about them. They do have sort of this iridescent glint to the edges of the hook spears that looks like it could be some kind of special metal, maybe magical, not exactly sure. You didn't ask about it, but it's a set of 4. It looks rather portable. Looks like you just can just clip it to your leg and go. You also found a very handsome cape. It is a very high collar, almost not as bioorganic as a Mind Flayer's collar, but kind of like that high Dracula-like collar. Comes to a point at the top. It's got sweeping, a sweeping kind of mantle, shoulder pad kind of look, and it also had some very intricate, very tight embroidery on the edges of the robe in these little glyphs. Bunch of shiny rings. Some of them were in a special box that had kind of like a glittery glass protecting it. Another one just a jewelry box full of rings and all kinds of trinkets and doodads. There was what looked like a small black steel cylinder, kind of like a little cannon, welded to the top of like a half glove, and it had like this pull spring mechanism where you pull something back and let it go. And not sure exactly what it did. Kind of like a leather fingerless glove on it. That was kind of neat looking. And he had a couple axes and swords and an array of daggers. It was a pretty interesting shop, very tightly packed with all kinds of stuff.
Well, if I see Axton on my way back to the keep, then I'll point him that way because that looks like it's right up his alley.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna spend some time in my office/lab studying and kind of just tinkering with some of the magical items I have.
Okay, so I would like you to give me you got a pretty good history, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me get a history check, and we're going to roll that at advantage.
26.
26. Okay, so you have a package waiting for you on your desk. Or would you say that you allow the housing staff into your room at all, or do you want that sort of stuff left outside?
No, they can go in. So as long as they don't try to remove anything of any major value,
right,
I won't send off any of my wards.
I'll say that you definitely catch one of the housing staff, like white as a sheet, as she looks like she's pulling out a bag of kind of rubbish that she took out, and she's got a dustpan, a little feather duster, and she's just white as a sheet as she kind of like you're about maybe 20 feet away. She emerges from your door, sees you, swings the door open for you, and she's just like, "Good day to you, sir."
And I'll tip my hat and head into the desk.
Yeah, you have a package waiting for you. I don't know, maybe you stepped out for the day or went to get something to eat and came back, and it looks like it's kind of a waxy coated burlap package with, tied up with sort of a simple string. Just a cursory glance, doesn't look like it's trapped. Doesn't look like it.
About 30 foot away and use Mage Hand to open it.
Okay. The little shoestring wrap up that it's got, you kind of tug on it, you pull the knot loose, the burlap kind of wrapping sort of undoes itself, flops down. Your Mage Hand lasts for how long?
1 minute.
1 minute? Yeah, it doesn't take a full minute to unwrap all of this. You do see what looks like a small, very simple wooden chest with sort of a swing lid.
Okay, I'm also going to use Mage Hand to open the chest.
Okay, well,
Take no chance.
Yep, no, and duly noted. It swings open easily. Mage Hand is 5 pounds, right?
10 pounds.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you swing it open. It doesn't seem to resist your Mage Hand at all. There's no spring mechanism that springs. It's kind of a little rusty. This box, it's not great quality, more function than form. And you see what looks like sort of packing material, like maybe some hay and things. And there is about 6 or 7 small objects of various design. They're all about the size of a chess piece. They're tightly packed themselves in sort of like a waxy rolled up paper. And there is a note. The note is from the courier commensurate of House Cerulean, and he has sent you a message saying, your father sends his regards. There are some objects that he has acquired that he would like some insight on from a professional magic gatherer. And he says, do warn us the next time you need to pay taxes and swap around thousands of gold, if you don't mind.
I mean, I do mind, but fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take out my wand of identify.
Okay.
Tap them.
Yeah.
Or at least 3 of them. I think it only has.
Okay. It's got 3 charges per day, but I mean, like I said, you got 5 days at your disposal. Not a problem to identify all 6 over the next couple days. But we'll start with the first 3. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay, the first item is hold on. It's kind of, it looks like a small effigy or small bust, and it's of what looks like an old man. It's made out of kind of a greenish crystalline rock. Not terribly lustrous or shiny, no crystalline glittering to it. It's rather pale and plain, and it instantly sort of flashes your mind with what looks like a vision of the inside of some temple somewhere. Real minimalist and blocky, kind of like a dwarven stronghold. And you see a sage in a robe, very similar to this little character's carved clothing. And it bestows upon you his touch, and you're instantly flooded with a rush of kind of necromantic power. And you realize that this is a piece of a set that you need to perform a ritual. And that ritual has the ability to summon a greater demon for your command. You just know that it's not complete, and this is only one piece. You're not exactly sure how many. Might be 3, might be 4.
I can summon 1 small demon.
Oh no, it's a greater demon. This is what looks like you can pull under your control quite a ferocious entity.
Yeah, but with just 1, I can just summon a small demon.
Yeah. All right. The second object is what looks like a gemstone. It's kind of very pale pink. It's well cut and well kept. It's well maintained. It's not cracked, or you don't see any little diamond dust at the bottom like it's been manhandled. And you are flooded with another aura of necromancy. But it feels much more like a pain of the emotional heart. And you recognize this as Martyr's Tear. And it's an imperfect rose-tinted gemstone. It resembles a teardrop or a broken heart, depending on how you hold it. And its pale facets are typically marred by a single crack or chip near the gem's middle. But this one is pretty flawless. And once per day, and I'll send out an item card if you want to keep it, if you want to, ask him for it or keep it around, you can use it for this effect. Once per day, the bearer may spend a standard action to transfer 3d6 hit points from himself into the gem. This deepens the gem's color, with a stronger color indicating more life energy stored in it. The gem can store a maximum of 18 hit points. If any hit points are stored in the gem, the bearer may touch it himself or to another creature as a standard action, and transferring all the stored life energy from the gem to the target creature, healing it a number of hit points equal to the amount stored. And this returns the gem to its normal color. So, Martyr's Tear.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that.
Yeah. Your family office, they are requesting a report of all of these objects. So I would just need for you I guess just a general intelligence check, as you can add your proficiency as you're kind of needing to catalog these for the family. They did describe to you at some point that, you know, you can keep a couple of them, but they are going to need a few of them, and I'll tell you which ones those are. Need a few of them back. So that's the
intelligence.
Yeah, just a general intelligence, and you can add your proficiency.
Yeah, 17.
17? Yeah, that's not bad. You understand that writing reports in this way, that you've chosen this kind of treasure hunter, cave diver, adventuring lifestyle that, you know, report back is important. So you're able to sort of legibly and, you know, intelligently convey what all these things are. As well as, you know, you're pretty smart. You can gauge based on their rarity, you know, what they're worth or what they could be worth at auction, or just outright pawning or selling. Okay. The third item that you are able to sort of handle today is quite simple in that it is a gold ring with what looks like a single eye sort of stamped into it, and then sort of inwardly worked on with sort of a red backing. And it seems quite innocuous at first. It does radiate with energy, magical energy. And as you sort of hold it, you know, you're urged to kind of put it on, but you resist and at least know what it is. And there is this image of this great red slitted eye, very Sauron-like. It just flashes in your mind, but you don't feel the pull of anything. Instead, you feel a raging fire burn in the middle of your chest. And you instantly recognize this as a ancient weapon that was designed by a far realm traveler, and it's called the Ring of the Cacodemon. This is an item that they are requesting back. You do know that when you attune to this magical ring, you have the ability of once per day casting Scorching Ray. The caveat is that the Scorching Ray itself emanates from the center of your chest, where a great eye temporarily grows, spreads, and opens, and releases this Scorching Ray. It does have augmented damage, and I'm just looking that up now. Okay. It is not 2d6 fire damage. On a hit, the target takes 3d8 psychic damage, and half that in fire damage. Okay. Axton.
Yes.
You are really interested in this suit of armor. You kind of descended from the mountain keep, the kind of second or third day of your time off here, and you kind of make your way down to Hystael, and we're going to say that you're kind of sent into town with a list of things that Barynor is asking you to acquire for him. There's a number of arrows. He's asking you to see if you can dig up a blueprint to a kind of a wrist crossbow. If anybody in town knows how to construct one, if you can acquire something like that.
A wrist crossbow.
Yeah, he's looking to kind of diversify his attack abilities, and mounting something permanently to his wrist. He's kind of exploring the idea. So he's like, if you can get something for under 5 gold, just kind of like a design or a blueprint for something simple that that he can add on, would be great.
Okay. Yep, I'll go ahead.
As you
down.
Yeah, and you're also looking for, if there's any kind of blacksmithing tools that you can acquire that you don't have, that have kind of a special quality or help you do things faster. And it's probably early midday at this point. You got yourself up and did a little training and headed into town. You come across what sounds like a kind of a dozen or so footsteps behind a building, kind of adjacent to where you are, and out from the corner steps this guy.
Content, loading. Hello?
Long flowing black hair, kind of hazelnut to almost orange eyes, in this ornate, ribbed and filigreed black steel armor. He recognized Captain Malgrim, and he's kind of passing. It looks like he's ready to pass you, and he just sort of slows his gait and gives you a look. Well, if it isn't the resident lunk.
Excuse me? Lunk?
He kind of looks like he's getting ready to pass you, and he's kind of over his shoulder. He starts to spin in your direction as he walks backwards. Handsome lunk, but lunk nonetheless.
I guess it's better than being a waste of space and time.
And he looks like he's about to turn around, and he kind of throws his head over his shoulder a little bit. He's like, "Is that the best you've got, big boy?"
I don't.
And it looks like
die with you.
He kind of throws his hand up in the air like, yeah, okay, whatever, and looks like he's continuing on his journey.
Okay, I'll make my way on.
Yeah, you're going to get pushed. One of the soldiers in just typical blackguard armor, maybe a little augmented with sort of little sharper plates on the edges and, maybe a little different design of chest plate. One of them kind of shoulder checks you a little bit. So just go ahead and give me a dex save. Or a strength save, your choice. You want to dodge it or you want to absorb it?
I'll try to absorb it.
Alright. That's a strength.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. You actually collide with this guy. He's bigger than you, surprisingly. And he kind of shoulder checks you, maybe, all of maybe 6 inches into your personal space. And connects with your shoulder, and you two just kind of bounce off each other in a kind of like you both kind of got rocked a little bit, and he just kind of puffs at you, clutches his spear, and stomps it on the ground to kind of near you as he passes you by.
Pardon me, I didn't see you there.
He says nothing as 2 or 3 more rows of soldiers pass you behind him, and the whole retinue starts to sort of march into the fog of the back alleys back here.
Interesting bunch. Bit rude, but interesting nonetheless.
You can hear what looks like a warehouse worker kind of sitting on the stoop, puffing a pipe on a break. He's like, "Oh, that Captain Malgrim, he's quite a piece of work."
You don't say. What can you tell me?
Yeah, you see kind of like a leathery skinned older man with what looks like a long pointed nose that drapes over a wide bristly mustache, and he's got kind of a sailor's cap, like woolly cap on. He's got a striped shirt, and he's kind of leaning against a crate, puffing on this pipe. And he just kind of continues his little business, and he says, Oh, that Captain Malgrim loves to torture the locals, for sure. He has a special delight in being a prick.
I can tell.
And he kind of cranes over to you and looks you, as you tower over him, kind of gives you a once-over like, well, you're a tall drink of water.
Yeah, living the good life.
And he kind of looks at you again and looks around. He's like, don't think I've seen you around before, but you look rather well established. What's your name?
Axton Woodman Bloom. Pleasure.
Axton Woodman Bloom. It's a pleasure to meet you. Name's Dribble.
Dribble. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. You live around these parts, or are you just passing through?
Just passing through, I think.
Well, enjoy the town, and be sure to pick up the redfish. That's what we catch. It's delicious, and it'll feed you for days.
I'll look into that. Thank you.
And he just kind of straightens down and hunkers down a little bit and resumes his smoking break.
Cool. And I'll make my way on, try to find the materials that we're looking for, and see if I can find any more tools and whatnot.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, and you can roll that at advantage.
Oh, persuasion. Oh, great. Guidance.
Good. It's good.
20 total.
Dirty 20. All right. Okay. So you gotta kind of skip around town a little bit to sort of consolidate all of the items that you've found and shops that you had to sort of speak to. The livery has really good blacksmithing tools. The livery owner is he doesn't just make horseshoes and saddles and straps like that. He also makes armor and weapons, just not a lot of exotic stuff, but pretty hardy. So yeah, he's gonna go ahead and show you a couple things that he's got.
Okay. I already have a set of masterworksmith tools, but if I can find any, pieces that are a little bit better, or
yeah,
maybe some.
So he's got a set of screw clamps. Yeah, he's got a set of screw clamps that look pretty appealing to you because they're going to cut forging time in half, because you're going to be able to work with holding metal down like more securely and able to work it. This really, they're not that well made. It's just such a odd shape and angle, like for a very specific point in the forging process, that you can then hold it secure, work really quickly, cut forging time kind of in half.
Okay, I'll look them over.
They're not expensive. They're only about 5 gold for the set. There is also a set of precision picks and chisels and things that look like they work really good at shaping and forming holes in leather, so you can make a little more ornate or lighter material that does the same job and might give some benefit to light armor or clothing made with it.
Okay, I'll pick those up as well.
Those are only 3 gold.
Okay, so 8 gold so far.
Yeah. I'm assuming you didn't bring your master crafting tools with you, right? Because he shows you a pretty nice set. He's not really interested in selling them, but it's sort of a black metal. It's not exactly dark steel or black steel. It's just kind of like this patinaed metal, twisted around and in a way to kind of an aesthetic twisting of this steel to form the handle of these pliers. He's got a really nice hammer. It's got sort of engraving on it. It looks to be maybe equal to your set as far as quality and what it can do for you.
Okay, is it based on like the materials used, or the design as in the function, or more appealing or useful?
He tells you it's just common steel. It's been treated, and that it was his grandfather's blacksmithing set that he made himself. He said it isn't handcrafted. It has a little flavor to it that kind of gives it a special quality when items are made with it. But they're not. He said they're not technically master crafted like yours.
Okay.
They're very, very, very.
You said that there was some sort of quality to them. Could you describe that?
Yeah, it's like. You mean mechanically what it does?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, it's able to kind of imbue a force to the metal worked to give it extra speed when wielded. So what it specifically does is it makes metal lighter, and it kind of adds bonuses to attacks made with it. And if you critical with a weapon made. You get to add, depending on the weapon, you get to add a specific set of dice to the total damage.
Yeah, I gotta have these.
Oh,
Would you part with them?
make a persuasion check.
Oh, I'm not great at persuasion.
Yeah, better roll high.
Is it still a normal or advantage?
This is normal.
Okay, I guidance again.
Oh boy.
19 total.
Yeah, he kind of takes them and he gently pries them from your hands and puts them down on the counter. Slowly wraps them up in kind of a cloth or cotton wrap, and puts them in his belt with the handles sticking out. And he's like, "I'm sorry, laddie, but I don't think so."
Okay, figured I would try.
He's like, he's telling you that this belonged to my great grandfather, and it might have even been old when he had it or made it, or no, he made it. So yeah, it's very old. It's very well worn. It's very well made, and not for sale.
Okay, well, if you ever are looking to part with them, just let me know. I would pay a pretty penny for some tools like these.
Yeah, he said, why don't you can always poke your head into Ian Beale's tent. You never know what he might have as far as tools. He carries a lot of weird stuff in there. You know, some weapons, trinkets, magic items. He sells clothing. He sells a little bit of armor, and seems to always be different. His inventory.
Okay.
Maven.
Yes.
After Sundancer returned, and he had some bird creature in his jaws, and you kind of spent some time, because he tries to pluck all the feathers out. He's not a fan of feathers. If he doesn't have to, he'll eat it if he has to, but he just kind of like dig into the flesh of it. And this, by the way, it's a big bird. Like, the bird's entire body, beak to tail, doesn't really fit in his mouth. Like, it's a big piece of prey that he kind of grabbed. He has since killed it.
Love that.
And he's just kind of like plucking with his mouth. He's like holding it down with his talon, plucking it out, the feathers out with his mouth. This giant bird.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, he kind of. It's funny. He thinks at you. He doesn't talk to you, but even in that regard, like, he kind of brings a piece of the big chunk of feathers out, exposes some of the flesh of this thing, and he takes a bite. And as he's chewing, he sounds like he's chewing as he's communicating. Like, oh, very good. This thing tastes good.
Oh, I'm glad. So we might be heading out here in a little while to go on a little adventure. You want to come?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Adventure?
Yeah.
I like adventure. What are we going to do?
I'm not 100% sure. The details aren't completely settled yet, but we should be leaving here pretty soon. Just want to make sure you're ready. You want to go?
I'm always ready to go. Are we gonna go to another castle or something like that, like this one?
I mean, it's possible, but I'm not sure. That's the It's the fun part, not knowing.
And he kind of plucks another chunk of feathers out, and he's kind of like spitting it out of his mouth. And he's, well, what do you want me to do while we're there?
Just be adorable. Stay with me and help protect us.
Oh, I will always help protect you, Mom. It's my job.
Okay, I'm glad, hun.
So he's got there's something that catches your eye. Now it's not really comfortable at all for you to hang out up at his nest. But you see with the fire that kind of licks the rock up at the top of his little lair, there's light about, and you see the sparkle of gold against the very back wall near his nest. It's not real dense. There's like a little glint that you see off the rock that kind of, as the flames lick the rocks, it kind of throws this light glint against the back wall. And it's not something you noticed before.
Yeah. Hey, bud, what's that? And I'll point it out to him.
Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Animal handling. Oh, nice. 17.
17. All right. He just kind of looks up at this nest, and he's like, some stuff I found.
Where did you find it?
I found it, and you can tell that he's sort of like thinking of something to say.
Don't lie to me.
He's like, what? I found it in the mountains.
In the mountains, or you didn't take it from anybody?
You
didn't steal it? You don't steal.
No, they didn't. They didn't tell me not to.
That's not... Young man. Stealing is bad.
I didn't steal it.
Was it lying on the ground for anyone to take, or did you take it from somebody?
It was not on the ground. It was lying on a roof.
Somebody just had gold lying on their roof.
It's made of gold.
What is it?
He's like, here, let me show you. And he kind of bursts into the air, and like a quick jet of flame from behind his shoulder blades just kind of propel him like a quick burst of a rocket up there. He grabs it, and then you can now clearly see he's holding something made of gold in his mouth, but like there's like 20 or 30 coins that sort of spill out from behind whatever he's holding onto the ground. And he jumps into the air and lands in front of you, and looks like he is holding some kind of headdress. Not really a headdress, more like a tiara, but it's got a couple of downward-facing diagonal struts that look like they connect to perhaps a mantle or something. Looks incomplete. There's a couple chains dangling from it, and he's like, I found this!
Just hanging out on somebody's rooftop.
Well, kind of.
Kind of?
It was on somebody.
You took
and they were on the roof.
Okay.
And they didn't say not to because they were a skeleton.
They were okay. Okay. Would I have any idea what this sounds like? Like
what he's got?
Figure out where it comes from, what he's got, if it's some kind of ritualistic, symbolic, holy thing. You know what I mean?
So you can make a history check, you can make an arcana check, you can make a religion check, and or you can make an investigation check, and whatever you choose, I'm going to assign one of the other ones.
Okay, I think I'll do religion. That'll be 15.
15. Okay. How is what on the mountain, Barry? Barry. Oh, Barry. Okay. I was going to answer his question, but he is AFK, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Yep. Yeah, you said, how is that on the mountain? How is what on the mountain?
Oh, whatever gold. Like, dude, how's that part of the mountain?
So you said religion. It does look religious. In your experience with your own Palorian practice, you do see this as some sort of ritualistic, not exactly practical. It does look like it's meant to like connect on some hook and chain to like a shoulder piece of some kind, but you're not sure how it works. It's got some symbology on it that you've never seen, you don't recognize, but you do understand that this definitely wouldn't be comfortable to wear practically every day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a half dome headpiece tiara with like a tiara carved and formed over it in like this lattice silver, and it's got a couple of blue gems in it, and it's just got these weird struts on either side above the ears that look like they are supposed to connect to something. Okay. Love that. And it's made of gold, and it's a little heavy, like maybe 4 or 5 pounds. Okay. And as he hands it to you, you notice there's a gold piece that slips out of his mouth into your palm.
Is there more gold over there?
Maybe.
That means yes. Okay.
And you notice that the gold piece is very modern. It was definitely minted within the last 100 years.
Okay.
Definitely of the Empire.
Oh Lord. Okay. And I haven't like seen anything like this skeleton with a very ornate headdress just hanging out on the mountain anywhere.
No, and you've definitely wandered around your territory up here. You guys are kind of nestled into this sort of developed valley between two large mountains. With, they're like sort of sub-mountains under them. You're kind of way high up and in the spiky bits of the mountain range. But there's, you've got sort of like not a yard per se, but there's room to walk around. There's a forested area. And, you don't recognize a roof up here other than where you live. You don't have any neighbors per se. And I mean, you personally have not inspected every single roof in Hystael, but you haven't heard of this kind of occurrence. You're pretty sure, shiny gold would stick out and someone would have grabbed it by now, so not sure where it's from.
Okay. And I don't have any kind of sense of what religion it might be from, like what god?
No, you don't recognize symbology.
Okay.
It has a very primitive kind of glyph carved into the front of this tiara that's wrapped around the sort of the silver headpiece. And not sure what it is.
Okay. Awesome. Love this. I'm gonna have to spend time trying to figure out where he took it from.
Okay.
Children, I swear.
Yeah. Your second day, or second or third day on the mountain, Pravish is going to invite you to travel to Dane.
Okay.
For the day. Do a little shopping, maybe a little visitation. He makes it clear he's not really looking to visit with anybody. He wants it to be kind of you and him.
Yeah.
Kind of a day. He definitely wants to go get his feet massaged and invites you along with him.
Of course.
Of course. And he wants to take you to dinner to your favorite spot. So, let's see here. He is going to, just because he's missing it today, so I'm going to mess with his character. Maven, if you would like to make a note that he is going to spend 40 gold because he took you over to Fisker and Sons.
Okay.
40 gold worth of gowns, pajamas, like really good, like silky pajamas.
Yeah.
At Fisker and Sons, they have what looks like a very smart, like woman's suit that looks like it would, you guys you pass it and you're like, you're sort of scoffing at most of the stuff in here. And this one suit kind of grabs you. It looks very, the top looks very Jedi. It's kind of like a tan with some earth tone overlapping, like 10 layers of overlapping material all the way up to the neck, and sort of a sweeping mantle with a long sort of beige cape behind it. A pair of maroon long pants that end in these sort of like blossomed or bloused boots.
Okay, gotcha.
That's an outfit of particular interest to the both of you, and like I said, 40 gold worth of gowns. There's he's making plan to make a spring of it and purchase you sundresses. It looks like they'll look good in a couple months. It's all very, kind of runs it by you first, like here's between this one or this one, and one looks better to you than the other.
Okay.
He's going to spend an additional 15 gold, get a very presentable kind of neutral tone. It looks like a deep navy blue with some gold buttons and kind of military capulets on it, and it's got kind of a long tailcoat design, and it's got what looks like sort of a smart top hat. He's going to purchase that.
Got it.
And he's going to spend a little time just sort of chatting with Grant Fisker, the eldest of Fisker and Sons, about maybe establishing some kind of a stake in the place, as he has visited it so often. Mm-hmm. Sure where that goes, but that's what he's going to do. Mm. What does Maven do on the trailing edge of this week of downtime?
Just really gets everything together because she knows they're going to be heading out pretty soon. Okay. And so she wants to make sure that she has all of weapons and make sure all of her winter wears in good repair and stuff, and just make sure that she has everything in order. She's very meticulously planned out and ready.
What weapons are you bringing with you?
Probably just let me do that. The cobalt dagger and a quarterstaff. Because I have a short sword here too, but.
Are you bringing your fire stick or your burn stick?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that as you're kind of cultivating everything, and your burn stick, you typically avoid sort of touching the end of it, because it is perpetually hot. It doesn't burn anything like on fire. It doesn't light anything on fire. It burns everything. It singes everything it touches. And as you're sort of packing your gear, and a little bit here every day, a little bit every day, I'm going to say that you can go ahead and fully replenish your rations up to 10.
Okay. Good.
You've got some trail mix, some jerky, some what looks like dried fish. There's lots of kind of seaweed wrap material that you're able to sort of make little snacks and stuff that will keep you going. There's a lot of hard tack in there and things like that. You notice as you're packing your gear with your burn stick that there is something in the skull that is deep in like the eye socket, but it looks like you can see it through either eye hole. So it's like deep in the head. Something red and glinting. The skull itself, it looks humanoid. It definitely looks demonic. There's like spiky bits around the bones and the forehead, and it's not real pronounced and ostentatious. It looks very human-like, but there's these little, like the nose bone kind of goes up a little higher than it would, and the eyes are like slightly frowning.
Okay.
But other than that, it just looks like an organic skull. It doesn't look anything. It's red. It's not bone colored, but it looks like a organic skull.
If I look real close without burning my skin off, can I kind of see what the red thing is in there?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
Investigation. Oh, nice. 22.
Nice. It definitely looks like a kind of a shiny crystal stone in there. You're not sure how big it is because it is jammed in there real good. Yeah, and you can also see the stick end of the quarterstaff that you've sharpened. And this, by the way, I don't know if we've made it clear. This is your old quarterstaff. Just you stabbed a particular creature, and when you pulled it out of its body, because it kind of had like a beetle-like carapace, you pulled it out. The end of the stick was like frayed and spiked, like something had like changed the geometry of it. And during another fight, you stabbed a enemy and right through the head and kind of cut the head off of it, and the end got cleaned, and this is the skull that's been stuck on the end of your quarterstaff, and it gives your staff that fire damage power.
Yeah.
You just weren't exactly sure how, but yeah, you do see something buried in the middle of this skull that looks like not exactly a ruby, because it's a little more hazy and smoky than that, but it's definitely a red stone of some kind.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna try to dig it out or anything. I'm just taking a look.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Barynor. Axton. I meant to have you roll for me. Axton, what would you like to do to aid Barynor in his quest for a blueprint?
I guess I'll just go search shop to shop for a blueprint or something to make that hand-fire crossbow.
Okay. Is there a particular type of shop that you'd like to target first? You can do blacksmith, there's weaponsmith, there's armorsmith, there's there's people that make locks, there's people that sell fletching gear.
Go to a normal weapon shop first, and then I'll hit up a Fletcher, I suppose. Okay.
You can make a persuasion check stacked onto a perception or investigation. Really, your choice.
I'll do a persuasion and then perception, I suppose.
Okay.
So guidance or both.
Sure. Ooh, very good. Okay. You paint a pretty good picture. You head to his name is Tile. Hystael, Ty-Ell, Tyel. He's an elf. He's got sort of really short, cropped, pixie cut to the side, black hair, real dark eyes. He's got rough hands for an elf. He's kind of tall. He's got really broad shoulders. He's wearing a leather tunic. And you kind of you paint a good picture to Tyel for what it is you're asking for. You know, you did your best sort of second-hand request from Barynor. So, and the perception check, it does really well as far as your ability to figure out if this is the guy for you. And you find out that he mainly does edged weapons and blunt weapons. He does make bows, but he doesn't like to sell them because they never sell when they can usually go over to the Fletcher and get higher quality archery weapons and tools and things like that. He does have what looks like a repair tool that he calls it the wrist lock. And what it does is you hold it and you're able to kind of pull back on. It's one of the mechanisms used to repair the pulling back of the bolt string on a crossbow. And he kind of shows it to you, and he's sort of take it apart at this top part and flip it around, and it could be used to mount to your wrist and kind of do what you're asking for, at least in part.
Could I see how I can maybe like jerry-rig it myself and maybe make like him a crossbow?
You can go ahead and make a blacksmithing, not really blacksmithing. You know what? Are you proficient in leatherworking?
I am.
Yeah, why don't you give me a leatherworking check? Let's see if you can. You don't really understand what he means yet by how to augment this tool, but you're at least seeing if you can figure out how to mount it to a wrist gauntlet.
Okay, again, guidance.
Okay.
Everything.
Guidance all the time.
Like all the time.
19 plus 2. All right, a 21, a well roll. Yeah, I mean, I would have to really kind of work with this a little bit to kind of, and like you said, it's not complete. You need other little mechanisms and pieces to kind of make a wrist-mounted crossbow. To make it lethal has to be kind of a well-made device. It's not just a bow and arrow. So you kind of are, He's going to offer it to you. It's not cheap because it's a tool that he uses, and he's going to have to purchase another one. So you're at least going to be on the hook for how much it cost him plus a little extra. So he's going to charge you 10 gold for it.
Sure, why not? I'll run it by with Barynor and see what he says.
Okay. That's kind of all you got. What's that?
What will I call this? Wrist-mounted.
Yeah, wrist-mounted crossbow, part 1.
Okay.
Yeah. He does point you in the direction of the Fletcher. He thinks maybe you might have a little more luck with designing the rest of it. He said he's never seen a wrist-mounted crossbow over there ever, but, never know. Never know what he knows.
Okay, I'll make my way over there next.
Okay. Koza. Koza's muted. Come on, Noah. Hey, Noah. There you are.
I was muted for some reason.
You were what?
I was muted on Discord, not just my headset.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it is the last half of this week. It's third or fourth or fifth day, you make your way downstairs on the morning of that day. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do right off the bat before the weekends?
I'll probably spend the majority of my morning kind of tending to my little altar. Just kind of general upkeep of my room, tending to like all the little plants around it and trimming what needs to be trimmed and all that type of witchy stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to say that, unfortunately, you have discovered...
You kill one of my plants.
You've discovered something of an apple parasite, because you've got kind of a couple little fruit tree vines that kind of grow throughout the perimeter of your room, and every now and then you'll pluck one down, piece of fruit down, and snack on it. Well, you've got kind of like it's like a apple-y kind of flesh fruit, but it's in a vine, and there's a parasite that's kind of making all the apples rot. Because you kind of pluck one down and take a bite, and there's this big wriggly worm that kind of looks up at you.
Gross.
Yeah.
Let's see. What can I do about that?
I'm going to say for your altar work, why don't you give me you started off as a druid, so you probably don't have religion or anything as a proficiency, do you?
I should be proficient in religion. Yeah, I'm proficient in religion.
Okay. Yeah, give me a religion check, and we'll see how cleaning up your altar went as you discover this horrendous fruit and... Had creepy music on this whole time.
I think I got proficiency in religion when I became a cleric.
Okay, fair enough. So, as you're kind of dusting it's hard to dust in here. I mean, there's leaves everywhere, and like there's plant vines that grow from the ceiling, because you've got things that sort of grow up to your vaulted ceiling and then hang down with like vines and stuff. And there's little fireflies that sort of dance in and out of the foliage up there. Some of them are growing leaves, and so it's hard for there to not be an accumulation of like dust and stuff. Like you also have a fire that pretty much burns daily, if not all day, and so cleaning up, sort of sweeping the altar. You've got this great big silver upturned moon that's sort of sitting on a mantle adjacent to your fireplace, and it just kind of has this very dim, constant glow of sort of this grayish blue light. You can see it in the daylight, but when it darkens outside, it kind of darkens the light too. It doesn't really stay as bright as it takes to see it in the daylight. It always has this very faint glow. And as you're cleaning and the fire is sort of lighting up the rest of your room, you reach up and grab one of these apples, and it's pretty nasty.
Yuck. That's gross.
Yeah. What would you like to do about it?
I don't know if there's anything I can do. I mean, I could try lesser restoration. See if that would do anything.
Restoration? Okay. Hold on. What are you casting it on? Are you casting it on the fruit plant?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, what are you going to do? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm looking through my spells.
You're just stumped.
I can't. I mean, I could have cast Cure Wounds on it.
On what?
On the tree, or Healing Word.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, I'll cast. Let's see.
It's up in the air, so you can't touch it. So you can't do Cure Wounds, but you can do Healing Word.
I'll do Healing Word.
Okay.
That's a D4 of health.
Uh-huh.
There's no, like, anti-pest spell.
Now you gave it 3 hit points, so I will say that being a living creature, well, it's not a creature, it's a plant. Healing it for 3 points, I would say, is enough to at least bring it up to full, which it probably has 1. And you see all the little maggots and worms get pushed out of these apples, and they topple to the floor at your feet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 of them, just kind of little fat grubs
Oh my god, that's so gross.
It hits the ground. Now, let me ask you this: do you have any animals in your room?
No.
You don't have any animals, okay?
No.
Because you do. I'll say this: make a nature check.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, dirty 20.
Yeah. You're a cleric too, right?
Yes.
Can you cast guidance?
Yes, I can.
Oh, did you do that? What is that? D4, Barry?
It is a D4.
23.
Nice.
Okay. You do know that there are places on the grounds that keep animals like pigs and sheep and chickens.
Koza's not really a farm animal type. He's more like squirrels and birds.
Yeah, do you have any birds in your room?
I leave my window open so they kind of fly in and out.
Okay. Well, you're pretty sure that birds of some kind would like these.
Okay, I will look for a jar to put the maggots in.
They're not maggots. They're more big fat grubs, like an inch long.
That's worse.
But you look up, and it looks like the apple little plant has fully healed fruit.
Okay, that's over. I'm gonna go downstairs and try to eat breakfast now.
You can add to your inventory or your room's inventory of a jar.
Oh no, that thing it's staying in my room. It is not staying on me.
Yeah, like that, Barry. Ugh. I'm sure Steph loves this.
In case you're wondering how no. Also, there have been 0 jokes so far, so I've had to not laugh at any of them. That is just rude.
It is rude. Oh my god.
That's so bad.
That's funny.
It's breakfast.
Funny? It's not funny. You're insane. Yeah, that's about it.
Ugh, I gotta close Discord. I gotta minimize it. It's grossing me out.
Oh my god.
It's SpaghettiOs. What?
It's not SpaghettiOs. Why would you say that?
We all know what it really is.
I don't want to think about it. I refuse to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, you all kind of, let's see here. Is there anything towards the end of the week that you'd like to do? I will give you the last 3 magical items that are in your box that you've received if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll assume that I identified those objects and then spent the rest of the time really just studying.
Okay.
Tinkering.
Okay. I'm guessing that you have all of your spells in a note somewhere or in your character sheet, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say that over the course of a week, in the library that you've acquired of magical books and scrolls and things like that, you can go ahead and add 2d4. 2d4 levels of spells that you can pick from, any of the rules as written spell books. In that week's time, you can add that to your spell book. You've already got the parchment and ink. So in this case, I'm not going to charge you for those.
So you said 2d4?
2d4 levels of spells. Your choice. Whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The last 3 of these items are pretty... They look pretty kind of mundane. They do hold magical charges. There is a rare ring. It's called the Quick Change Ring. It has an extra dimensional space inside dedicated to carrying armor.
Let's pants up real fast.
Yeah. You have to be proficient in the armor that's stored for you to wear this, to wear that armor. But anybody can attune to this ring. You can magically bind one set of unworn light, medium, or heavy armor to this extra dimensional space within the ring. It's going to take an hour for you to do so by resting the ring on top of the armor. You can't be wearing it at the time. Only one suit of armor can be bound to the ring, and binding a second breaks the bond with the first one, causing it to be forced out of the extra dimensional space and appear in an unoccupied space of within 5 feet of the ring. Use that to your own comedic effect, I'm sure.
Is there a set of armor already in there?
Hold on 1 second. I'm looking at the verbiage. Not for that, but for the rest of this. So it costs a bonus action to touch the blue gem on top, and once you do that, the armor instantly kind of swallows you and wraps itself around you, and you are now wearing that armor. It does do away with don and doff speed for full plate. It's instant. I'll say that you don't...
Full armor all the time. Yes.
What's that?
So that will greatly help me put on my full armor all the time.
Yeah. I dare you to store a robe in here, because I'll allow it. You can just, boom, instantly wearing something else. All of the same penalties or requirements or requisites for armor apply to whatever is stored inside. And you know that you won't know if there is armor in it unless you wear it. So you're not sure if there's something in there. And that's the quick change ring. That is not being requested back. However, the next item is, and it looks like almost like a simplified sea urchin. Like it's got kind of like stubby spikes that emerge from it. This thing is wrapped in sort of that waxy paper because it looks like you could poke your fingers on it. It is quite simply a trap of negative energy that kind of grabs you and holds you in place while it does damage. Let's see here. That's just, it doesn't really have a name per se. It's just kind of a disposable negative energy trap. I guess you could say it, word it however you want. Okay. The other item is rather simple, utilitarian. It's called the daylight stone. It's a small object that looks like it can. Not the daylight stone. The daylight tube, and it looks like you can pop a dancing light into the air. It's got 4 charges. You can expend all of them at once, or 1 or 2 or 3 of them, and the light lasts for 1 hour, and then it goes out, and you can reset that charge at dawn. And this one has a note that says that they're requesting it back, but that is negotiable on the customer's end. I don't know if you're talking, Ken, but you're muted again. I don't know what is up with Discord and muting you guys at random intervals.
Oh no, I just said, okay. Not really interested in that one.
Yeah.
Really either.
Okay. All right. You got any idea what kind of spells you're researching?
More abjuration.
Yeah.
Evocation. Just trying to figure out kind of what we're going to need.
Yeah.
In the next little adventure here.
So go ahead and give me, what would be like a cartography check? Would that be like a history check or a survival check? Are you good at survival?
I mean, I would say like nature, maybe, or intelligence, like just a straight intelligence, like.
Yeah, you can do that. And I'll say you've read maps before, so you can add your proficiency. Yeah, let's just have an intelligence check with your proficiency.
17.
17, that's not bad. So you're kind of up in the war room, just sort of glancing before the week ends. The last night of being at home for a while. You kind of head up to the war room, take a look at your maps. You've got a map of Valandiir. You have a map of the Zephan Empire specifically. You know that the journey east will take you to the fringes and then beyond the border of the Zephan Empire. I'll have you know that you remember that Brackenshire has a teleportation circle that will definitely cut your travel time down when traveling east. However, you personally do not know any teleportation circles anywhere east, especially beyond the Empire. You've never come across them. And you know that the Needle, which is east of Brackenshire, where some of you met, the last you heard, it was overrun by a zombie, Walking Dead kind of horde. You're not sure if it was confirmed to be Walking Rot, but the Walking Rot cult, but it's definitely likely that they had something to do with it. And there's been no news out of the Needle since, even in the 2 months since you heard it. And you're pretty sure you're going to be doing a lot of hiking through the woods and over hills and a lot of rough sleeping. So what would you say would do to protect himself and prepare for a journey through the wilds in that way? You're definitely going to bring kind of a comfortable, warm cloak because it's still very cold outside.
Yeah, I'm just going to reshuffle my spell book around a little bit. More protection on hand.
Okay. All right. It's the last night, and you've all kind of done your best to think about what the journey ahead brings, and you all gather in the great dining hall together on that last night for one meal at home before you head out. Kravish is going to order up a very hearty supper of lamb and vegetables and potatoes and kind of just gather around the table and look at all of you and just say, well, folks, here we are about to do something for Koza. And I just want you all to know that, and he's going to slowly bring out his mandolin as he speaks. And he's like, just want you all to know that it's been a bit of time since we all started this adventure, and now with everything we've been through, and he's going to start really twanging on that mandolin at the same time. It's been had our ups and downs, and we've had our tribulations, and some of us have died, and some of us have found each other, and well, I just want you all to know that I'm glad that we're doing this for Koza to find his daughter, and I couldn't think of a better group of people to embark on such a journey as you folks. And he's gonna take one last strum of his mandarin. He's gonna raise his large wine goblet high in the air and kind of give like a toast. Barynor is gonna follow suit. Here. And
fine words, Kravish. Here.
Yeah, he's going to kind of get down off of the table, which he slowly kind of climbed up to his side of the table. So he was standing on it, kind of like, oh, didn't know I was up here, and get down real quick. Finish his meal as you all finish yours, and kind of close the last evening home up. If there's anything anybody else would like to do or say. If not, Kravish is just going to kind of sidle up next to Maven as you all begin kind of getting up and the dinner service is cleared. He's just going to kind of follow you on your side as you guys make your way back up to your tower. And he's like, well, what do you think? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
How you been sleeping?
pretty average. What is my new normal?
Right. What do you think about that? Well, you know what I told you that Eathara said to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to let you know that I want to do something about that, and
Okay.
I'd like to use this journey on our own without traveling through the cities as kind of a backdrop to interact with the group a little more and maybe get y'all to learn a little bit about each other too.
Okay.
What do you think?
I like that.
And he's just going to kind of throw a hand over your shoulder and lean down. You can feel his body weight. And if you were a weakling, it might kind of knock you to the side. You kind of playfully push back, and he just kind of takes a deep breath as the two of you enter your domicile and the door closes behind you.
Very cool.
And that's where we're going to take a little break.
Okie doke.
All right.
Okie doke.
It is 4:07. We'll call that 4:05. And meet back here at 4:20. We take a break at this moment a lot, don't we? I feel like we're always coming back at like 4:20. All right, folks. We'll see you in 15 and finish this beginning of your journey east.
Right.
All right. So, the week has ended. You have all taken care of your business that you sought out to do. It is a new day. You all kind of gather at on the bottom floor of your keep. You don't really sit down for breakfast. Instead, you kind of grab something quick, like some bread and some cheese, or a boiled egg, just something to kind of get you going throughout the day. And and filling up your rations one last time, and kind of going over your gear that you've got, making sure that you've got everything that you want. Are you going to be using the teleportation circle, or are you guys just hoofing it all the way there?
No, we'll teleport.
Okay. Alrighty, righty. Let's see. Do I have a map on Roll20? I do. All right. I'm going to move everybody over to the map. And right now, it's kind of restricted to where you're at, but I can easily change that around. Here's tokens. Nope, that's part of the map. Okay. All right, everybody can kind of see where you're at, right? Hello? You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you guys on Roll20, you can see that map?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to move it on over here. Maybe make it a little bigger. No, make it... There we go. Okay. Now we'll just fix the fog. So, on your first day's journey, you started by the rather violent and magical transportation network to Brackenshire. You instantly teleport. You find yourselves in one of the 3 teleportation rooms that are used in Brackenshire. It's not as illustrious and numerous of a space as when you go to Dane, but it definitely gets the job done. Is there anything anybody would like to do in Brackenshire, or do you guys just want to hit the road east?
I don't know that we have any business in Brackenshire.
Wouldn't the only one that would be Barynor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Barynor is definitely going to say he's good. He's all set. He doesn't need anything special here. He currently has Luna in his silver wolf's den ring. She's starting to become very uncomfortable with long walking journeys. Her little belly is starting to swell, we'll say. So, if there is no business in Brackenshire, striking out into the wilds east of the smog-filled industrial city, those of you who, I think you guys met in Brackenshire, if I'm not mistaken. No, you met in Dane, Barynor, Maven, the group. So, Maven, I will say that you don't have a lot of experience this far east. And everything seems to be kind of new to you. This is also, I think this is kind of a forest that you are unfamiliar with, which is called the Garden of Mist. Right now, everything is kind of covered in snow. There is what looks like a trail carved through the landscape. The tall pine trees here are also interspersed with leafy trees, as in the summertime, this, as the others would know, it can become quite tropical. At least tropical, heavy, temperate kind of a climate. Right now it's very cold, but it is not devoid of the mist. It's very foggy everywhere. It's kind of hard for everybody to see. It's not impossible or impassable, but it's definitely adding a layer of alertness that you have to don while you're walking this landscape. The guards bid you farewell as you leave Brackenshire. So I just need to know if anybody wishes to do anything special as you start this journey. Koza, how would you like to? I mean, this is kind of your show. What would you like to do to start this journey in searching for your daughter? You have the floor.
Well, I think we should start near the Garden of Mist, around where my village is, and maybe look for some clues of, anybody trying to, set up a settlement or something, or any sort of like small hovels, evidence of somebody surviving what happened.
Okay, you want to go to your village?
Maybe start there.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. You, being that you are pretty familiar with the area around Brackenshire, you do know that where your village is/was kind of halfway between where you are and Dias Mordrin's dungeon. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty. I mean, you know where you're going. I'm not necessarily going to make you roll to find your own village. You know well where it is. But I am going to need a survival check from Barynor, and I think, Steph, you have control over him, correct?
I do. Let me pull.
Let's get a survival from him and a perception check from anyone in the back. Axton, I'll have you roll that too. If you're not in the back, you're pretty alert. Ooh, yeah.
Oops. Well, that's him. I just didn't have it on the right name. But yeah. Oh, is it on?
Is that under Maven's stats, or is that under?
No, it's
Barynor's
his.
stats?
It's under Barynor's. I just didn't have the little name clicked over.
Oh, okay. All right. 22 is pretty good. He can guidance himself if you want. That's just a D4.
Sure. I'm trying to figure out how to turn off the disadvantage. I know there's a way to do it, and I can't remember. So that'll be a total of 24.
24, yeah. Your first day's journey east, of which you have, let me see here. Do I have this set up properly to judge distance? Maybe I do. Grid off, okay. Cancel. Let's get out of that. Let's see. Hey, cool. Okay. You guys have a 28-30 mile journey, which is about how much distance you can cover in a day. It's a little more, but I'm willing to let that go. So this first day's journey is pretty uneventful. There's not a huge wind right now. You guys transported from Stonehelm Keep to Brackenshire, which isn't a huge significant amount of time. Let's see here, or excuse me, of distance. But it's probably 3 days away, which is pretty significant. I guess a little significant. So the climate here is a little different. It's not very windy. You guys are kind of right under the Grasping Ridge Mountains. Looks like it's a little less chilly outside. Your furs definitely keep you well warm. And Barynor is leading the charge. All of you, I believe, have a horse except for Maven, who is riding Sundancer. You all notice that it's a little warmer around Sundancer at about 20 feet around him. And while you all won't fit just squeezing around him to enjoy that warmth, you do kind of filter in and out to get a little relief from the winter's chill. And I'll say this, Maven, that Sundancer's not happy right now.
No, I would imagine not.
You can feel him kind of shaking and shivering underneath your saddle. He doesn't say much. It looks like he's like blinking, trying to keep the cold out of his eyes. And that's when he and Barynor, at the same time, you guys spot something in the woods between the trees. You definitely hear the gentle dropping of hooves between trees, and it's not but maybe half a second later that Barynor puts up his hand and calls for everyone to halt.
What does your elf eye see?
There's something in the woods up ahead, and he's kind of, you can see that he can see it, and he just kind of looks at himself, or he looks down at Luna's in her ring. He turns around and looks at all of you. He says, "It's a pretty big deer, and I don't know if it's albino or what, or if it's a special white deer. I don't know. I've never seen a deer like this before. You guys want to let it go, or you want to take it down and make some meat out of it, or what?" And he's going to kind of point this out to whoever he's closest to. He sees this.
Would I understand that to be of any significance?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Nature. Boink. Ooh, 19.
19, all right. So, it's not necessarily a sacred deer, but it is part of a herd that you've heard of, the herd of the white mane, which is kind of a infamous, not legendary, but kind of folklore herd of deer that just kind of migrates across the country following the winter. And, when the seasons change, the white mane herd follows the cold weather as it ebbs and flows. Not terribly uncommon to see one alone, but usually they do keep close to their herd. Not exactly sure why this is. Maybe it's just looking for food. It is the time of year that antlers would not be growing, so you're not exactly sure if this is a buck or a doe. From a survival standpoint, you know that their hide is no different than a white-tailed deer, and their meat is no different than any other venison you've had.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Well, do we feel like venison tonight?
Yeah, what do you think, guys? I can snipe it easy.
Sure, why not? It doesn't cut into our resources. It doesn't really take much time out of our day. Go for it.
Yeah, it's the day, but speaking of the day is winding down a little bit. The sky's gray, it's getting grayer, a little dimmer. So, if everyone hangs back, Barynor is going to pop Luna out of her ring, and you see him kind of bend down and stroke her back and kind of ask her, you up for this, girl? And you see Luna kind of look at the white deer and just kind of her whole demeanor shifts down to hunt mode. You see the hackles on the back of her neck kind of stand up, and you hear her kind of a very, very, very low growl, almost a form of communication, and she darts off to the right into the woods. And you see Barynor kind of look over. He's like, all right, we'll be right back. So, Steph, if you would like to make a hunting check for him and give me a survival and also an attack with his longbow, his bow of Gardener's Delight.
Okay. Gardener's bow. Which first? Survival first?
Yes, please.
Survival first, and then an attack with the Gardener's bow.
All right. You guys are all kind of hanging back and looking and listening, and after maybe 3 or 4 minutes, you start to get it's not impatient, but it's like, oh, waiting here means waiting here. And all of a sudden you hear, and you hear Barynor through the woods. All right, who wants to help me carry it?
I got you.
All right. I'm going to say that with that survival check, he spots, while he's hunting, he spots a suitable place to bed down for the night. There's not a lot of footprints in the snow. You see he kind of brings you by this spot, and there looks like what looks like a kind of a reed field with these high reeds. It looks like maybe if you guys cut some of them down or paste them flat, that you could kind of make a nice little spot for the dome here. Let's see. So what do we do about the deer? The deer is perished without any excess blood or violence. It was a very clean kill. You can have him roll a survival check, and I think, Axton, you're pretty good at preparing meat, right?
Yeah, I have survival that I'm proficient in, and I also have cook's utensils I'm proficient in.
Yeah, okay. So you can go ahead and make a butcher check.
Okay, I think that would be the cook's utensils.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure what attribute that uses. I have it set to wisdom, but I think it probably...
No, dexterity, I think.
Okay, I'll use it with dexterity.
Although, you know what? I'll make you roll different skills depending on what you're doing, because, yeah, butchering, you have to be dexterous and get the cuts right, but with cooking, you have to be wise and know your recipes.
That's why it was set to wisdom. So,
yeah.
What would you like me to set
okay.
to?
You can just do a dex save with your proficiency. That's fine with me.
I'll set the...
Or not a save, a dex check, sorry. A dex check with your proficiency. Using your tools, your knife set. Oh boy. Well, as soon as you cut into this creature, you accidentally spill its guts and its stomach contents onto the snow, and I'm gonna say you accidentally taint half the meat doing that.
I didn't even know I clicked on it. Wow. That was an accidental roll. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, accidentally you ruined half the meat. Sorry. I'll say that instead of 2d8, you roll 1d8, and that's how many rations of good meat that you've got out of this. You'll be able to make a handsome stew for the night, but other than that, it's a lot of ugly cuts. Your fingers are cold; they're numb. But other than that.
But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, 1d8 worth of rations. Ooh, that's good. That's good. But you make a handsome stew out of a couple of cuts of meat, and you throw his kidneys and his liver in there for good measure. Boil it on up. There's no local flora for you to pick from, but Barynor did bring on his horse saddle. I'm sure that. Sure, Axton brought some veggies along as well. kind of dump it in there, boil it up, use some of its bones to make some broth, and cook it up into a nice stew. I will accept another cooking utensils roll from you, Axon. Let's see if you do better for making the stew. Oh boy. Hey, that's much better. I'll say that along the perimeter of these reeds, you notice some of the dead foliage from last season that kind of gets replaced by new reeds that grow. Kind of has a sort of a musky, or not musky, an earthy kind of savory sense to them. So you kind of crush them up into like a chopped up thick powder and sprinkle it in the stew. It adds a nice flavor. And you kind of see Barynor just sort of walking around, keeping an eye on the perimeter. And you look up in the sky, and he looks in the sky. You see the moon is out. He's like, I think I might go for a walk tonight and really kind of check out the surroundings of the area and make sure that we're all good. So, I'll take first, maybe second watch. I know we're in the dome, but I feel like a walk tonight. Let's see here. Is there anything anybody would like to do on this, your first night of your journey east? I'm
going to try to talk to some of the other spellcasters. Does anybody have any lightning damage? I may need some assistance in crafting some stuff later. And I was wondering if some people have either lightning or thunder damage that might be useful for me with my smithing later. Anybody? Koza,
No thunder or lightning that I can think of. Hold on.
What about you, Koza?
I've got shatter, but that is probably not going to help you in the way that you're
No, I don't think
looking to be helped.
I have Thunder Wave and Call Lightning.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, lightning will probably be able to help me.
What is Shocking Grasp? Is that a wizard cantrip?
No, because I think I can cast Shocking Grasp. Hang on. I know one of my characters can. Yeah, it's wizards and sorcerers can cast it.
Okay.
But yeah, I got Thunder Wave, Call Lightning, Thunderclap, not Thunder Wave.
Okay. Call lightning might be able to help me later. Okay, just checking.
Okay.
All right, well, the night draws on. You all have your bellies full of a delicious venison stew. You can feel the stew warming your bodies to a fault where you definitely feel gravity on your limbs. Your bones feel a little achy, and your eyelids draw heavy. I'm assuming the dome?
Yes.
Yeah. Though you don't technically require it, is there anybody besides Barynor that is interested in walking around or staying up for a period of time, observing the surroundings? Does that interest anybody?
I'll observe some of the surroundings, try to find if there is any plants or any type of seeds or anything spectacular or rare in terms of plants I could grow.
Okay. What part of the night are you going to choose to do that?
I'll choose closer to around midnight.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of, are you going to stay up or are you going to wake up in the middle of the night? It's not that important, but I'm just curious.
I'll stay up.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody sort of settles in and you hear, Kirbysh just kind of twiddling away on his mandolin. He looks like sounds like he's kind of working on something. He's sort of entertaining Maven a little bit and giving her a wink here and there and stopping occasionally to sort of put his head on her shoulders a little bit. And then inspiration strikes and he sits up straight and starts playing again. But after a while, you can feel that if you were outside, you would feel that crispness to the air and the midnight twilight chill start to set in, almost like the dew in the air is starting to crystallize and fall on everything and starting to coat it And about that time, you kind of pop off your pillow, Axton, and just sort of phase through the dome and take a walk around. It is very, very cold. I need you to make a con save real quick. 13. You don't take any damage, but it's just like such a stark difference between the warm, toasty inside of the dome as your party members begin to really kind of settle into a deep sleep. You cross that barrier of the dome and it's just that frost. It's almost like there's a layer of frost on the dome itself, and everything feels crunchy under your feet. The leaves, the sticks, the twigs, the snow, and you kind of like form new footprints, kind of going in a wide arc. Looks like Barynor hasn't quite left yet. He's maybe taking his rest first. So you're kind of out here on your own, and you can give me a nature check and a perception check, but you don't see like with your passive wisdom, you don't really see anything besides these reeds that you kind of used in the stew. You don't really see much outwardly, so you have to kind of search for it.
Well, guidance for both. Yeah. And, yeah.
All right. Yeah, really good haul, actually. It's not necessarily a resplendent part of the forest. You do see a plant that grows kind of like an evergreen bush, only it's very tall and spiky, and you know that it's kind of like its pine cones are edible. But you also know that it's much better to let them age over a flame and dry out, and the little nuts inside can actually be used to crush into a powder, and that powder can actually have healing properties, and combined with other ingredients can be made into potions, things like that. You find
Well, I'll definitely take some of those for sure. Maybe I might be able to grow them later on somewhere else.
You see a waning evergreen tree. These are kind of rare around here. Those are more towards the eastern edge of the needle where they grow. But the waning evergreen, if it is of significant age, its bark can be stripped and ground into a spice that has really aromatic qualities, can be made into a tea. It can sometimes have benefits as far as wisdom saving throw advantages and things, or bonuses, things like that. You're not exactly sure how to cook with it, but you know of its existence.
Okay, I am proficient in alchemy.
Yeah.
I'll learn. I'm still a beginner.
Yeah. Definitely something to try out.
I'll take some of that.
That's kind of all you see, though. It's sort of a boring night. You forage pretty far and wide. You find what looks like a large stone outcropping with like a hole, a kind of like a deep hole in it. It disappears into a snow-filled hole. You see what looks like almost like someone was hiking around here. Maybe you don't necessarily see footprints, but you see what looks like a walking stick kind of poked around this area. Not sure what could have caused it. It is very narrow and thin, and there's a lot of them. That's really all you can see. You also see what looks like a large fallen asperwood tree, which is a massive species of tree that live in this area of the Garden of Mist. And there are a number of nocturnal creatures kind of crawling all over the root ball and just kind of going about their nightly routine, gathering moss and feasting on nuts that they gathered somewhere else. Kind of all you see. It's kind of like I said, it's a bit uneventful.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll just get some of those pine cones, some of that tree bark, and I guess I'll just head back.
All right, let's see. Go ahead and roll a 2d8. Yeah, you find 8 little pine cones.
What were the name of these pine cones, just to be sure?
It's the waning pine. That's the name of the tree.
And the bark?
Oh, wait, hold on. That's the bark. The waning pine is the bark.
Okay, waning pine, bark.
Yeah, the pine cones are just pine cones. I mean, there's some from some little evergreen bush.
Cool.
Yeah. As you head back and start to kind of strip yourself of your armor, I'm assuming you wore your armor out. As you're unstrapping it, Barynor kind of comes up behind you. He's like, "Here, Axton, let me give you a little hand. I'm just about to head out myself." And you see him twist his ring, and Luna pops out and sort of sniffs around and looks like she's kind of getting ready for going out in the wilds herself. He kind of undoes your armor in the back, making it real quick and easy. And he just kind of gives you a nod. He's like, "So how is it out there?"
It's quiet. There's a large fallen tree, and I point in the direction. And there's always some, little holes in the snow or the area. It looks like somebody was poking around with a stick or something. I'm not sure exactly who or what caused it, but...
Well, I'll take a look.
Okay.
All right, well, have a good night.
Night.
And he's just going to kind of slap you on the back and turn around and take Luna into the darkness and kind of keep an eye on the camp until he sees you kind of settle down. And you see him kind of taking a deep breath, and that frosty breath comes out as he sort of scans his surroundings and scampers off into the woods with Luna in tow. It looks like, I'll say this, your passive wisdom sees that Luna's hackles are not up, so you don't feel like she thinks there's something nearby that's dangerous. She's definitely looks like she's getting ready to go on a hike. You're all awoken by Luna barking feverishly through the dome. She wakes everybody up instantly at about the crack of dawn. You can all apply a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long rest. You've all gotten a good night's sleep. It was very toasty in the dome, but suddenly there's a somewhat anxious and apprehensive wolf barking at all of you in the dome, right in your faces.
Okay. Hi.
She seems very concerned. She's whining a little. And she keeps darting out. As soon as she sees any of you move, she darts out of the dome and points in a direction into the woods. You can all see that the sun is very low in the sky. It is overcast, so this whole sky has kind of like this dark gray tone before the sun really gets high. And there's a little bit of snow trickling down from the sky. Again, she barks. This time she kind of growls at you like, "Come on, let's go." None of you speak wolf.
Look, I only look like I was raised by animals, okay?
Yeah, so she's gonna wait. She's gonna wait on outside of the. And so you're doing what? You're walking to her?
Yeah, I'll follow her over.
Yeah, as soon as you walk in her direction, she takes off into the woods and stops when you stop. Like, when you're not going as fast as she is, she kind of like impatiently stops and barks at you and spins around and looks at the direction she's running. What do all the rest of you do?
I'm just going to try to follow her as best as I can.
Okay. Koza, you guys too?
Yeah, I'm going to turn into an owl and try and fly with her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to follow in pursuit.
All right. Any actions before you start your day? You want to put up a ward or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm going to cast Alarm. So that my ward
Okay. All right. You all engage in hot pursuit. I'll say that Axton definitely recognizes this as the direction that you went for a walk. And it looks like the direction that Barynor went when he left you. And I'm going to need a perception check from Koza. I don't think you take any penalties or anything with an owl shape. It's just your abilities, correct?
Yeah, no. I only keep my mental stats, so I would have to use the owl stats. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay, well, what about, like, perception? That's a mental stat, isn't it?
Depends. Hang on.
We might get
Okay.
a bonus. I think it's like +2 or something.
Axton, you can go ahead and make a check for me as well. You can make perception or investigation if you want to track or if you want to look around.
My perception's pretty much the same, so I might as well just roll on my
Okay.
character.
I'll do
All right.
perception.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I'll
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots
I'm gonna turn into a hawk.
Lots of, you want to use another one and turn into a hawk?
No. Because I might need to turn into a bear later.
Oh, wow. A perception check. That's huge. Okay. I'll say, as your owl sort of keeps an eye on where the direction that Luna is running, you just see, like, a forest canopy in front of you. It's really all you see for miles and miles and miles is the Garden of Mist canopy, which is very dense. The Garden of Mist is not a loose-fitting forest. It's very dense. You got to walk around trees a lot and things like that. So really all you see are the tops of trees and like just this gray sky that goes forever. Axton, however, you are tracking what looks like Barynor's footsteps and Luna's. Luna's is much more, she looks like she was kind of pacing left to right as they walked along and kind of keeping an eye on the perimeter of their little path through the woods. And eventually you come to a site. It's pretty difficult to tell what happened here. You see a little bit of blood on the floor, on the ground. It is kind of sprayed as if it were something where a wound was made in motion, because it's kind of sprayed on the ground in like a line. And then you see a lot of those holes in the ground that look like something like a stick stabbed into the ground, kind of all over the place. You see also a little bit of blood that looks different from what you would find in a half-elf or a wolf. It's kind of like a purple magenta kind of color.
Mhm.
And there's a couple spots of that all over the ground too. And that's much more of a natural spray, like maybe something was stabbed and sprayed in that way. And then you just see drag marks on the ground that lead away from you. And then the drag marks end, and you just see those holes all over the ground. And it leads towards that stone outcropping. And you notice now as you approach this, that there is no longer, it's not filled up with snow anymore. It's now hollowed out, and there are a little bit of drag marks at the entrance of this opening, and a lot more of those stick stabbed holes in the ground that lead down to it. And you see Luna lose her mind barking at the entrance, and she just kind of keeps looking at you. She starts whining and kind of desperately looking between you and the hole, and she just keeps barking at it.
Well, I let everybody know what I see, and I say I think Barynor was maybe attacked and dragged over to that area.
All right. Well, what do y'all want to do about it?
I think we should just leave and move on with our, daily lives.
It's too late. He's had his time.
Yeah.
You know, you wish him well.
No.
Dibs on his bedroom. All right. Well, what do you guys want to do first?
Can I tell based on the prints or anything how many things were here, or what possibly was being attacked, or what got bloodied? Was it Barynor's blood? Was it something else's?
Well, I'll let you make 2 checks. No more, no less. You can make a medicine check, and you can do a nature check, or you can make a survival check.
Medicine and survival.
Okay.
Guidance. I think that one's pretty good.
You think? Okay, Captain Modesty. Jesus.
Medicine check. This definitely looks like human or half-elf blood. There is a little bit of blood that has been dragged into the hole. Yeah, you don't know how many of these entities that created these holes. You don't know how many there are. They're just kind of all over the place, especially at the entrance. It's really difficult to tell.
It's like, hey, there's footprints here, and they lead back towards the way that we came. We should go back to camp.
I think Barynor would understand wanting to abandon him.
They're leading. They're going towards the camp.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kervish is going to pull out Anthem's Edge and activate its moon touched ability. What are the rest of you doing? Speak now or forever give me permission to trap this place.
I'm going to cast light.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use my ring to activate light in my eyes.
All right. So now you have better than dark vision, I think, based on the wording of that.
Even in magical dark.
Let's see here. What else can it do? Dark vision for 1 hour. Effect resets for after a long rest.
Maybe it's not the other one.
Yeah. Still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Still pretty cool. Well, anybody else want to do anything as Axton and you know, what are you setting alight? Just a rock?
Yep.
Okay. You enter the mouth of this cave. It's about maybe 4 feet wide, so some of you kind of have to squish down and hunch down to get into it. So especially the ones wearing armor, namely Koza and Kervish and Axton, I need you all to make a stealth check as you enter into this cave. I'll put you on the map right now. Luna is going to make a stealth check as well.
Guidance.
She's going to do that with guidance. Oh, no, she's not, because he's not here. All right. Yeah, Luna is kind of frantic right now. If you guys would like to place yourselves on the map, you should be able to see the opening or the beginning part of a cave at the bottom of the map. Oh man, Steph, I still have not changed your mini. That is so freaking bad.
Yeah?
You are not that dirty.
Oh, yeah.
All right, who needs my help to do that? Everybody? I will shrink you to the correct size, however.
I need help.
Okay.
For some reason, Roll20 will never let me place my own mini again.
I know. I don't understand. It's not fair. Does anybody want any pets or special items or spiritual weapons or anything else?
Okay, cool.
I will eventually when I cast it, but...
Barynor is not... Nice try.
Oh, yeah. I was just trying to get everybody on the board.
I'm going to put Kervish on the field, however. All right. There you all are. Luna's going to be out front. She's out front. She's the first in the door. She's ahead of you, Koza. All right. Well, here you are. Just tell me where you'd like to go, and I will reveal the map as needed. You look at your feet. Everybody make a perception check. Disadvantage if you don't have any way of seeing, which I don't think is any of you anymore.
No, I think we all have dark vision.
Didn't somebody cast light, though?
Oh yeah, there's 20 feet, but it casts shadows. It's not necessarily the easiest to see in here. Maven got a 15. Everyone's getting mid-teens here. All right, you're waiting on me. Natural 1 for 8. Oh dear. So Maven, you're kind of in the middle of the group, towards the rear, towards the magic and the stabby boys. And as you kind of emerge from the entrance into this kind of 5 to 7 foot wide jaggedly tunnel, your foot goes right through a skull at your feet. And that's when all of you noticed that there are scattered bones kind of all over this tunnel. Not a lot of them, but like every 2 or 3 feet, you do see like a rare thigh bone or a rib bone, a skull. There's a couple of different species in here. There's a lot of animal bones. Most of them look to be mammalian, maybe deer, maybe foxes or wolves or something like that. But yeah, you guys see that this place is littered with bones. What do you wish to do?
Just move on. Just keep going. Try to find the poor lost soul.
So you can hear, sort of in the distance, this direction. Everybody see that? You hear a skittering. Definitely sharp points against stone in rapid succession that seem to be moving away from you or closer to you. It's a little bit of an echo around here, although the walls you do see the further in you go. If you guys want to move yourself to the left, no one's moving. To the left, I say. You got to follow the tunnel. No phasing through, flipping through walls. You see that the room is starting to turn to the right. There is an increase in the amount of bones on the floor. And at this point, Axon, you definitely can spot that there are fresh drag marks in the dirt and soot and dust. And all of a sudden you see, as you step, your hand on the side of the wall, as you're scanning the floor, comes in contact with a sticky substance. You pull your hand close to the light and you can see your hand is now covered in webbing.
Okay. Careful. Arachnid type creatures.
All right. You continue through. It's not far. This tunnel is only about maybe 50 feet deep, and anywhere between, like I said, 5 to 7. Sometimes 15 feet wide, this tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Reveal areas. And you see that it does empty into a larger space. Like that. Okay. Axton, you are the first to see the whole of the room. Actually, I won't give you the whole of the room. I'll give you this, because there is a bit of distance between the middle here. And then reveal areas. You see something at the back of the room, and you're starting to see corpses on the ground, desiccated, all the moisture drained from them, and kind of left in spinneret webbing cocoons on the floor, strewn about the place. There's bones, all kinds of weird materials on the ground. There's pelvises and legs and feet and arms and stuff like that.
Lovely.
I will move Kervish. He is way back there. Here we go. He's going to join you. He's going to say, well, lovely. Got to talk to somebody about the interior decorator around here. All right, boys. Well, I think we know what's coming. Why don't we get ready? Barynor, you in here? Don't hear a response. Somebody just disconnect. Oh, hey!
Hello!
Hey, just got back from New York.
Hey.
Wow!
How was it? Tell me everything.
We had a great time. It was ass-moving cold, but
Well, yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a great time.
You're welcome for that. You got our weather.
Yeah. We were on the
Cool.
We were at the 4th row when we watched Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kid was just completely fangirling out over Aaron today.
Oh, that's cool.
Hilarious.
So cute. Love it.
That's awesome. I want to hear all about it after the game if you got a few minutes.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Are
Cool.
we dead yet?
No, you're not dead. You are. Let's see. Action just bounced.
The screen
think
just
you got
went all wonky.
No, that's not good. You guys are traveling east on your quest to help Koza find his daughter. You have hunkered down for the evening in a snowy patch of reeds and discovered that in the night, Barynor wanted to take a walk and he went missing. And you tracked him to this web-covered, weird, bone-filled lair.
Oh, awesome sauce.
And you can listen to the audio for everything else. I'm not spilling all the beans.
Okay.
And all right. So what you all see is what looks like a 4 to 5 foot wide arachnid-like creature. It has glowing red eyes, red little spines and spikes all over its back that kind of extend over its legs. It has a pair of nasty-looking fangs, and it's not really moving too much, but your all's passive wisdom can tell that it is alive, and just kind of, it's in kind of like a hunched, all of its little legs are kind of hunched together, kind of protective stance.
I'm going to cast Spirit Shroud on myself, so that all my attacks for the next minute are radiant as well as normal type of damage.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to make you... Is that a cleric ability?
It's a cleric spell, Spirit Shroud.
I'm going to make you look all angel-y. Let's see, there's angel wings, I guess, right there.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
So we've just come across this person?
Well, I wouldn't call him a person, but yes.
This
It
creature.
looks like a giant spider, or at least a large spider.
Or at least eight.
Yeah, and you tracked Barynor's drag marks to this location, so...
All right.
All right, he's gonna... You guys are pussyfooting around. He's gonna move over here.
Okay. Have we-
And move. He's gonna skitter 15 feet real quick. And I'd say with Kurdish, where you are, you can go ahead and see this whole map. All right.
You can shade it back now.
You see at the back of this large lair a huge pile of refuse and bones. There is strings of webbing covering everything in this place, and the density of the webs increases the further into the lair you get, until there's pretty much just web all over the place. I need somebody to sacrifice their reaction to spot what is at the top of this pile of bones.
I can do that.
I'm not the lead. I'll do it.
All right, Kurdish, at the back up here, at the top of this horde of bones, you do see a heavily wrapped and sedated Barynor. He is covered in webbing. You can definitely tell it's him because his face and his feet are not as tightly wrapped as the rest of his body, and he is unconscious. So, you know what? We can just put him right up here, and he prone. All right. Well, I'm going to have this guy walk up to Kurdish, and he's going to make an attack.
Did we roll initiative or?
Nope. I was asking what y'all wanted to do. Nobody really spoke up, so he's going to go ahead and get the upper hand.
I didn't really give me time. I was like, I'll throw up Spirit Guardians.
All right, that's fair. Go ahead. Do you need me to put that aura up, or you got that?
I can take care of that. Let me just make.
Okie doke.
I can never
What
see
else?
auras.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to fix it, too. I think, I have to make it so that you can see it. Let's see here. There we go. This is appropriate battle music. All right.
So that is a 15-foot radius.
Or C. There we go. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
All right, just remember that it doesn't extend beyond this square. It's just that his mini is bigger. So it goes from this square to this square. And if you forget, I'll remember to rule on it. Don't worry. All right, so he's got to make a wisdom save because he just walked right up to you as these things went up. Okay. Let's do... I'm starting to roll a little more online, but I'm going to roll on my cool 3D printed skull dice counter. Oh, that's not great, though. That's a 14. No, sorry. That is a 13.
He failed.
Okay.
So he takes 3d8, which it rolled for me here, 15 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
And his speed was halved.
All right. Speed is halved. Okay. 15 points, and his speed is halved. Okay. That's good. He's going to go ahead and make an attack against you, Pravish, which is... He's going to make 2 attacks. They are both going to be bites. All right. One of these is that's going to be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
And the other one is much lower. That's only going to be a 13 to hit.
That misses.
All right. So the first one hits you for, let's see here. Okay. Plus, why did it do 3?
No, I got 2d8. You rolled 2d8.
Oh, for some reason it shows 2d8 on my, or 3d8 on my screen, but that's okay. 12 plus 5 is 17 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
All right, that's going to end its turn. We can go ahead and roll initiative now, as we've had a couple blows traded here. So let's bring the turn order up.
Yep.
I will.
Guardians up.
What's that?
I said I made my con save to keep Spirit Guardians up.
Oh, right on. Yes, you did. Okay.
Guidance for initiative.
Oh, I need the advanced roller out. Then I can add my mods and stuff. All right, what's its dexterity? Ooh, damn, that's real good.
Apparently my initiative...
Oh my god. Why is your initiative so bad? Did you roll a 1? Oh my god, you rolled a 1? Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Is it too late for me to give you advantage?
Well, it's a total of 5 points.
Yeah. Yes, it's too late. You gotta remember to do that shit. Oh, I got a 19. That's rolled pretty well. Sorry, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Let's see, where are you? Oh, you're way back there. Get yourself on the map. And turn. There you go. Can you affect it? Or there you go. Good. Fine. All right. Oops. Just threw my freaking earbud. All right. Is that everybody? We got everybody on the board? That's right there. Okay. Yep, that's everybody. Okie dokie. Let's spin the wheel. All right. Koza, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to put yourself where you were in the room, or else I'm going to count that as your present position. Do the same for me. She's going to be way up here. What the heck? Okie doke. Maven, you're up first. There's a medium-sized spider biting into Kravish right now.
So excited. I love spiders so much. They're my favorite. I'm just gonna run over here. Actually,
you would have been flanking with
with
Luna, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. And then I'm going to schwack it with my beautiful quarterstaff.
Okay.
28 to hit.
28 does hit.
So that's 8, and then I don't have the mod for the fire damage.
It's just 1d6, right? Or 1? No, I think it's 6. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. 8. So that was how much damage? That was 8.
12 damage total.
Okay. All right.
One more with the quarterstaff. That's a natural 1.
Oh no. Yeah, Maven, not a big fan of spiders, apparently, because you're finding it a little difficult to manage in its own lair and its tight quarters. I will say that, Maven, right now, you are standing in very sticky, heavy webbing, and where you're at, you're not exactly sure of the parameters. You're standing in difficult terrain.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't forget you're flanking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was flanking.
Yes, you are. Every one of your attacks are at advantage.
Well, that gives me 16 instead of the natural 1.
16 does not hit.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. I'll use
A little hardier.
An unarmed strike for my bonus action. Be 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
8 points of damage.
8 additional points of damage. Okay.
And yep, that'll be my turn.
Okay. It is the spider's turn. He's going to turn around and attack the nearest threat to him, which is... Yeah, actually, you know what? He's a very simple animal. He's going to try to get out of this painful area that he's in. So that makes... He's going to scale the walls here. Karish, Luna, Maven, you all get attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
I'll roll one for me.
I earned my reaction to identify Barynor, so I do not get an opportunity.
Okay. That's true. Thank you for being honest.
Does he take damage at the beginning of his turn for your fairies?
Yes, he does. He has to make that wisdom save because he started his turn there.
On his turn, he has to make a wisdom save. She's going to bite it for a 13, which does not hit. Unfortunately, this thing's pretty fast.
23.
23 does hit. You can roll your damage, and I'll roll his wisdom again.
10 points.
10 more points. Good to know.
That's a failed wisdom save.
Yep, man, that's a 10.
That's a 9. Oh. Okay, it's rolled 2 1s. A 7.
Hey, it all counts, man.
Yeah.
It's okay. It all counts. But it burns him on the way out.
And his speed is halved.
Yeah, alright. So he was here. To get there is 5. What is his speed? It's probably the same as... Oh, speed of 40. So he's got 20 feet. So we'll put him 1, 2, 3, 4 away, and he's going to... you see him raise 2 of his legs, and on the knuckle are these real nasty red spikes. You're going to see it flinch and flick its legs towards you, and Maven and Koza, you're both going to get showered with thorny spikes. So that is going to be... I'm going to roll. I'm rolling my D20 rolls in my skull. Everything else is... All my damage is online. Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
19 to hit Maven.
I believe that hits, yes.
Wow. Lost one of my freaking dice. Why are you going crazy on me here? I may have to fix my stat. Oh, there we go. 14 to hit Koza.
That does not hit.
All right. Did I hit Maven? I think I heard you say yes.
You did, yes.
Okay. There we go. 11 points of piercing damage.
Gotcha.
Against Maven.
Okay.
Okay. That is his turn. Kravish, you are next with on deck.
All right. Let's see. What to do. It's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go get Barry. I'm going to go get Barynor, and I am going to cast Dimension Door to bounce myself from here to here.
Okay, you're 10 feet away from it.
Oh, no. Okay, so right here.
Okay.
And that was my action. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word.
I'm just going to look at something quick there, bud. Okay. Yeah.
Look to make sure I didn't trigger the trap of sudden death.
No, your aura does not touch the spider.
No, I knew that.
It's because your mini is a different shape. It makes it look like an egg, and it's not exactly the right time.
I knew it wasn't going to hit him, so I wasn't planning on that. I was aiming more towards stabilizing Barynor.
Okay. Yeah. Your healing word, you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Healing Word.
Okay.
I'll cast it at 2nd level
All right.
for 12 points of healing.
12 points. You weave your healing magic into his body. It definitely looks like it gives some moisture to his flesh, but he is still unconscious. I will say that you're definitely sure that he's alive.
Okay.
He looks a little more healthy. He's just napping.
Hey, just so sleepy. So sleepy.
I mean, he's swaddled. Who doesn't like to be swaddled, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, bud?
No, that'll do it.
All right. You know, with Koza up behind him.
I'm going to cast Firebolt on it. 25 to hit, 18 damage.
18 damage. Okay.
That'll be it.
All right. As you do so, you strike it in its chest, and the damage that it took from the Flitty Fairies and Maven's attacks, your firebolt blasts this thing. You hear it screech and fall down and do the typical spider thing where all of its legs kind of curl in to its body. It is dead. Or rather, you know what? There we go. All right. Koza, you are up.
I'm going to go over here.
Okay.
Nope, not there. Right there. Let's see, what can I'm gonna cast... Let me see what the range on... Where the fuck is Shield of Faith? There it is.
That's a touch spell, I think.
No, it's a 60-foot spell. I'm gonna cast it on... we'll say Kravish.
Okay.
So he gets a +2 to his bonus, or +2 to his armor class.
Okay.
Cool. You are base shielded.
And then... Oh, cool, that's a bonus action. And then I'll cast Guiding Bolt on the thingy that's holding them.
On this thingy?
No, whatever the big circle is. Or is that the flip?
That would be Kravish.
My Spirit Guardians are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a stand-in for some mini.
No.
Do
you want to... You can hold your action. You can go over to where Barynor is. It's up to you.
Let's see. I only moved about 10 feet, so I could probably get to about there. Or here. Okay, so I get right up to him. Why does he keep wanting to... Okay.
What you doing, Koza?
I think I'll...
Gotta have you make a decision.
I'll help Barynor up.
No, okay. He is not conscious. You cannot apply the healing action to him while he's just bound. At least not to help him stand up. He is currently stabilized. So as you make your way over there and notice that it's a little more difficult, you can offer to try to cut him free. Use your action to maybe try to do that. But standing him up would probably not work out the way you think it will.
Okay.
Bud.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna take out a dagger and try and cut him free.
Okay. You can go ahead and make an attack with your dagger.
Okay.
Oh, somebody just messaged me, I think.
Tell your bookie to call later.
Or not, I guess.
Nope.
I guess nobody did or write me or whatever. Okay, sorry. That was my bad. What'd you get?
I got a 7.
You got a 7. That is enough to cut into inanimate webbing that's not moving. You did 5 points. All right, you're not super proficient with a dagger. I mean, I know it's a weapon that everybody's proficient, but you don't use little daggers and stuff. It's more of a butter knife to you or a bread knife. So you just kind of like slice here, slice there. You don't get very far. It looks like you've exposed maybe the right part of his shoulder a little bit, but it's not enough to just cut him free. When I'll say, Maven, you notice one of these little guys crawling down from the wall here. I'll get rid of the corpse. And another one starts to crawl over around here. They're going to move 20 feet there and there, which is enough to hit you. He's going to take a bite out of you, Maven. Oh, that's a lot. That's a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Excuse me, 26. I read that wrong. All right, so that's going to be... Come on. There you go. 15 points of piercing damage to Maven.
15.
And, as these things descend down upon you, you hear them, everything, you hear like a deep screeching in the top of the ceiling above you, and you can kind of see like slow vibrations in the webbing in the ceiling above you. Koza, that ends your turn, right? You don't have a bonus action or anything like that?
Nope, I used it to cast Shield of Faith.
Got it. All right. Axton, you are up.
Okay, let's take a look here. I guess I'll get to here and make 2.
Don't forget. All right, as soon as you reached this tile,
Okay.
it was difficult terrain.
Okay, so I was right here. So 5, 10, 15, 20,
25 would be there. Yeah, and then you need another 10 to get there.
I need another 10. So, okay.
So you're right there. Yeah.
Well, my sword doesn't reach, and I don't have my halberd with me anymore, so
Oh boy.
what will I do?
You could use bad language.
I could.
Maybe it has a very sensitive emotional reaction to language.
Maybe.
Yeah, and if you pull that off, I'd be like going over there going, what the hell? Dude.
And how far
Improvised
away
mockery.
Where does the difficult terrain happen for up to this spider? So if I was back,
I'm gonna write a line. You know what? I'm gonna draw a line.
yeah.
It's better to draw a line. Okay. Web. That's kind of a webby color. We'll just do it a straight. If you approach or enter this line, it's difficult terrain. There we go. Let me just
There, that's
shove that
cool.
back.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so 5, 15, 25. There we go. I'll get to there and attack that spider instead.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Attack away. 13. 13 does not hit.
Alright, I'm going to use my precision.
Okay.
Looking for a D8.
Ooh, yeah, that hits.
So that's 14 slashing damage. And
Mm-hmm.
because I use my shroud, 5 radiant damage.
Okay, 14 plus 2 plus 5.
Bleeding is only if I critical, I believe.
Okay, 14 plus 5 is 19 points. Nice.
That's my first attack, and now my second.
That's your first attack. Mole.
That's a critical.
All right. Let me see. That's a con save? Yep. I'm just gonna do some matharoonie. So, what was the first attack? 12. Yeah. Oh, it was 14. It was 19, and then 13 times 2.
26.
It's 26 plus 12 of bleeding.
Both numbers, the 13 plus 9, are my criticals. So that's 13. And the second roll is the critical. So it's 13 plus 9 plus 6. The bleeding isn't doubled, but it doesn't
Right.
automatically. And then
I see. Well, 13 plus 9, that's you rolled 2 dice. I just double the first roll for a critical.
oh, okay.
That's how I've always done it. So it's 19 plus 26 plus 6. I got to make a con save. And then you did 7 points of radiant damage. Monster roll. Let's see here how he does.
26 plus 7. That's
Yep.
pretty sweet so far.
Okay.
You definitely hurt its feelings.
I'm just checking to see if it's bleeding.
It's got a high con. Let's roll a con. Yes. Alright. Oh, it was gonna be a 17! You son of a bitch!
So,
Okay.
6 damage of bleeding
Alright.
for a total of 39 damage.
Yeah, I got it. Huge. Huge amount of damage.
And that's
Okay.
my turn.
Alright. Maven, you are next. There's a heavily bleeding, demon-y looking spider standing next to you.
Okay, well, I'll try to hit it. It's my fist. 24 to hit.
Definitely.
And 11 points of damage.
Alright. 11 more points of damage. Okay. Alright.
26 to hit.
That hits as well.
10 more points of damage.
Okay. This one gets pummeled to death.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I will. That's what I want. Run over here. And
I'm not going to ask you if your difficult terrain impedes your movement, because I'm sure it does not.
I mean, it does, but it just brings me back down to normal movement speed. I have 60 feet of movement currently.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, you're just a little firecracker speeding along.
And then I'll spend a key point into Flurry of Blows. 16, you said didn't hit, right?
Does not.
Okie dokie.
I feel like every one of Steph's turns should just be dope monk shit. That's all she said.
Yeah,
That's all she said.
pretty much.
And then
Steph, it's your turn.
24
What are
to
you doing? Dope monk shit.
all the dope monk shit. And then I'm going to kick this one in the face for 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage.
And then
Okay.
it'll end my turn.
And then...
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. It is back to the spider's turn. And as this one here is going to attack Maven, obviously. The 2 attacks. One is a 16, one is a 27.
27
I'm gonna use
hits.
my reaction to Silvery Barbs, the second attack.
Okay. 15.
15 misses.
All right. He successfully distracts it enough.
Okay, and I'm going to take the advantage on the next attack for myself.
Okay. Very, very good. On your turn, Kravish, what would you like to do?
That's a really good question. All right.
Sorry, didn't mean for that.
All right. Koza, I'm getting Barynor to safer area. You're going to be on your own over here, okay?
That's all right.
I'm gonna, grab hold of Barry, and I'm going to use Dimension Door again.
Okay. He is currently glued to the bone pile.
Oh, he's adhered. I can't free him from it right now.
I don't know how that works. If they are effectively restrained or paralyzed or
It's spider web.
unconscious.
I think it's just restrained.
What now?
Okay. He's completely immobilized. Let's see.
Let's see. You teleport yourself. You arrive exactly at spot. You can bring along.
I would say he is not willing because he's not conscious.
He's unconscious. Okay, so that
Yeah.
will not work then. Okay.
He is not conscious enough to give consent to the dimension door.
And
Which
no
means it's an automatic no.
All right. Well, I am then going to crack out my mandolin. Now, both these spiders
Okay.
are dead. Are both these spiders dead?
No, only one. This guy right here just keeled over.
Okay. So I am going to cast. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers
Okay.
at 3rd level. So he has to make a Wisdom save.
Alrighty. My wisdom for this guy. Oh, it's not that good. Not bad, but not good. Oh my god, natural 1. Holy mother of mercy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that is the universe failing that check for me.
All right, so that's 22 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
And provided it survived, it must immediately use its reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to say this. You stopped its heart out of fear.
Oh, Jesus.
It heard what you had to say, and it just kind of looked at you and squeaked and like curled up and died.
It made the smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's,
I would have.
Good choice. Good choice.
Wow.
all right, so as this creature keels over and dies, you do notice
Oh, more of them.
a number of other spiders entering the field of play. Here,
Yay.
here, there's another one. Here. Actually, there's one here, right behind Luna. I hope you like spiders.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure if Kenny is a fan of spiders or not, but he's going to have a little friendly dude hang out right there. I'm going to get rid of the corpses.
Right on his face.
And I need Kravish and Koza to make strength saving throws. As from above you, you see a huge fountainous bath of webbing just splatter down on top of you, gluing you to the bone pile just as Barynor is.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Strength saving throw from Kravish and...
Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's the bad kind. I'm giving you a no sign.
That's how I feel whenever I make a dexterity saving.
Are you
Jesus
kidding
Christ, you two.
All right. So as this sickly white webbing fluid spills down onto you, literally gluing you in place,
God.
You are restrained. You're unable to move your hands for somatic spells. And from the ceiling hole drops a huge arachnid creature down on top of you.
Koza effectively got squirted and just went, oh no.
Oh my god, that's
That
so
thing is
bad.
So you guys are glued. You're restrained. So this is going to be an auto fail on your dex save because you're going to try to jump out of the way and you can't. So that both of you,
Restrain means that
both of you,
is 0, right?
restrained. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're effectively immobilized. You're not unconscious or anything like that.
You
but
can't do anything.
you can't do shite. You both take. Let's see, how much does this thing weigh? How far did it fall? I feel like we've done fall damage before on creatures being tossed on the top of somebody.
It's the terminal velocity of a cow.
It's gonna take. It's a D6, and it fell, so it's gonna take fall damage because it didn't use its spinnerets. It just fell down on top of you.
If I have to tank this all to the chest, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh my gosh! It didn't roll that bad. 15 points of bludgeoning damage as it lands directly on top of the pile of Barynor, Kravish, and Koza. It looks down and regards Axton and Maven and and you hear this horrid, deathly screech as its mouth is consumed in fiery, dripping magma that falls down onto the ground.
Biscuit eater.
I believe it would also take the Flitter Fairy's damage for entering its base.
It is, and you know what? I will roll that just right now.
That wisdom save.
Not great wisdom on this little guy either. But we will frickin' see. That is a dirty 20.
So it'll take half.
Yeah.
So it'll take 4.
I need you to make a con save, though, for your concentration. Okay.
10.
10. It is just enough. Just enough. But yeah, it lands on your friends, it screeches at you, and it has all this mass of jagged, slimy fangs. All 8 of its eyes are burning red with inner light. It's covered in tall spikes, and it seems slimy and dripping with saliva and ichor, and it's huge. It's about between 15 and 20 feet in height. It's got 8 huge razor-sharp tipped legs. And that is where we're going to pick up next session.
Oh, no.
Lord.
You're going to leave me in a bundle of gooey web for 2 weeks?
Yuck.
Actually, it's going to be another month till we revisit this campaign, because next session is the one-shot.
The space one.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming up with a weird character. You guys are going to love it.
Everybody kind of is.
I've told Joe about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm still waiting to hear from, it's not so much Steph. I think you've kind of locked into what you want to do. I just heard back from Barynor as far as what he wants to do, and I don't know. I think Kenny, you're missing that one, I think, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, drive to Pennsylvania.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it's going to be cool. Everybody brush up your characters. I urge everyone to reskin your own spells into cool sounding science fiction-y ammunition. If you want to change damage types, I'm open to that. I've already been working with Barry on it. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to be the 20th of April, and which I guess would leave the next time we play this campaign would be the 4th of May. So we got a little time to finish up this fight and continue Koza's journey east.
Yay!
Yay! So, all right, well, that was fun. Corey, I want to hear all about the show after the. I want to hear about Broadway after the recording. Yeah. So we'll see you next time. All right.
Adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.